bill allowing those 18 and older to carry a concealed handgun without a permit.
I get it the second time.
According to the U.S. Concealed Carry Association,
our
once
star
signed
state
into law, that means that Louisiana will become the 28th state that allows people to carry a concealed weapon without a permit. However, it would only be one of a handful of states where the law would apply to those as young as 18. It will allow guns to be carried under clothing without requiring a permit, fingerprints, or completion of a firearms training course. Restrictions from carrying in certain areas, including schools, churches, police stations, courthouses, and the Capitol, will still apply. The law is slated to go into effect on the 4th of July. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Congressional bargainers say they've hammered out a deal aimed at averting a partial government shutdown this coming weekend, but congressional approval is required. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings Without Mike Winters. I ain't he. That would have been awesome if I had caught it. That wouldn't be me, Mike Winters. No, Mixmaster Mike Winters out one more day. Hopefully only one more day. Illin with bronchitis, some
and 2/3 of ZZ Top.
Tubes.
Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 16 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio. I like to think he's been communicating through text like Lightning Jack would, or not Lightning Jack, but the guy who hung out with Lightning Jack. That's a very old
Duck
reference.
Dynasty,
anyways,
and 2/3 of ZZ Top.
It is a Thursday
Here's
morning,
Mike
6
Winters.
minutes now, 7 minutes, 16 minutes check, just like Mike, after 7 o'clock. Joining us welcome to a Thursday morning without Mike Winters. And this is a weird week for weather, man.
Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top.
The worst
Here's
wind
Mike
I've had,
Winters.
I've dealt with 16 minutes after quite some time at the beginning of the
joining
week.
us in,
We had what all in all amounts to a pretty nice day yesterday. And then, good morning, Roswell. Welcome to a fresh blanket of white powder. That's right. It snowed. It started about right about 3 a.m., actually probably about 1 a.m. this morning. And just laid a nice thick blanket. And I will say this. The roads are pretty clear. I did drive at relatively normal driving speed, a little slower this morning, just to keep an eye out for little patches of black ice. But it's already above 32 degrees, so anything that is frozen is melting very fast. In fact, I didn't have to scrape my window at all this morning. I just had to kind of scrape an arm over the windshield windows and scoop out my mirror, and I was good to go. But give yourself plenty of time to get wherever it is you need to go. Obviously, there still can be spots where the road is dangerous, where there could be some issues. But of course, the $64,000 question, and you know, as parents, if anything was happening, you'd probably get a text and a phone call by now. But there are no closures or delays in the Roswell area. So Roswell Independent School District, no closures, no delays. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, still on schedule. I will say, Portales Municipal Schools, if by some weird grace of God you're listening to me in Portales Municipal Schools, they're on a 3-hour delay. And Capitan, again, if you're like using a ham radio to pick me up in the mountains, Capitan Municipal Schools also on a 2-hour delay. So that's where we stand right now. Of course, if anything changes, we will let you know. But as it stands, it's already past my daughter's bus time, so I'm assuming if there were going to be any delays, they would have let Pollard know by now. So, kids, get up, get at him. Let's do something about it. We can't dawdle a lot this hour because we have a really long interview. I did not realize we went this long yesterday, so we got to get to that. But let me give you the rundown for this for today's program. I'm going to kick things off in the 7 o'clock hour here, about 7:15 or so, with the interview we had yesterday morning in the 9 o'clock hour with Don Weld and Lizzie Lee from American Legion Post 61. Had a great conversation with them, chit-chatting all about their needs and what they do for the community. So we'll replay that coming up here in just a few minutes. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, now, I wrote these down phonetically because I knew I was going to botch them. We have Clarice Coelho and Dimvia Maslian. Now, they Lieutenant Colonel Dimvia Maslian. They are from New Mexico Military Institute. Mike had a chat with them last week, or earlier this week, and my days are all mixed up. It was sometime. Mike had a chit-chat with them at some point. He had a conversation with them, and we're going to replay that. It's all about the National STEM Challenge and New Mexico Military Institute's involvement with that.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes
we'll play that coming up
after 8 o'clock.
In the 8
and joining
hour.
us in
coming
the
up in the
studio
9
this
o'clock
morning,
hour, around 9:15
Tori Hornick
or so.
with the UFO Skate
play the
Collective.
interview that
I
Mike
think
had
that's the
from
official.
a little while back, a couple weeks ago, with Miss Terry Hornick from the UFO Skate Collective. Obviously, they were just granted a healthy chunk of money to design and create a new skate park area for Roswell and for the surrounding area. So it was a great conversation, kind of all about that and where the money's going to go to and the uses that it's going to be put to. So we'll replay that interview coming up here in just a few minutes. It's basically one of those days that
of Duck
the teachers,
Dynasty
and kids today won't understand this reference, but back
Here's
in my
Mike
day,
Winters.
on
good
like
morning,
a day when you had a
16
substitute
minutes
teacher,
after 9 o'clock,
or
and joining us
maybe
in-
your teacher was a little hungover, you'd hear that slight squeak coming down the hallway. That squeak, 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 and it'd get a little louder, and your anticipation would grow and grow. They're rolling in the TV cart. It's gonna be a movie day. So yeah, it's basically one
And
of
good
those
morning.
we're
It
replaying movies
is
all day.
27
today. So
minutes after
you got to
7
sub
o'clock.
to it.
And
But
joining
hey,
us
I'll still be here
this
and
morning
in
from the
between
New
things.
Mexico
Consider it like a
Military
clip show,
Institute.
like
We have
they used to do back on The Simpsons. They put a little bit of new stuff in there to keep you tuned in, but otherwise it's basically just rehashing old material. Hey, we do what we can. 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with the weather. Oh, it did that to me. I was wondering if it was gonna. It didn't do it to me yesterday, but it did it today. Let's check out the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving through southern New Mexico today. Could bring us a few showers for a while. They'll wrap up by about noon, and then we should get some sunshine back. Our afternoon high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight will be clear, mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday. Warming up a little bit. We're in the mid 70s. Things look fair for the upcoming weekend, but a little windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. I was just commenting to Jocelyn that, yeah, it is currently 33 degrees, foggy and misty, and with a mist outside. I don't mean somebody named Misty is outside. But this Sunday, we have almost 80 degrees for the high. We'll get there. But as it stands right now, 33 degrees under some foggy conditions. So, again, give yourself plenty of time to get
Of
wherever
Duck
you're
Dynasty
going.
and
keep the high
2/3
beams
of
off.
ZZ Top.
I'm real glad that
Here's
you can
Mike
see
Winters.
the backbone of a gnat.
And good
with
morning,
your lights,
16
but
minutes after
I'm blind
9
now,
o'clock,
and it doesn't
and
help in a
joining
foggy
us
days because
in-
all you're going to see is the fog. Currently 96% humidity, wind speed is calm, barometer at about 30 inches with a dew point of 32 degrees. We're going to blaze through this because you already know snow showers likely through 8 a.m. The sun will come out later in the day. 53 for the high today. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour. Partly cloudy for tonight.
Of Duck
35 for the
Dynasty
overnight low, but I'm pretty
and
sure we're
2/3
the
of
worst of it
ZZ
is
Top.
over. Looking at
Here's
sunny
Mike
skies
Winters.
and 72
And good morning,
degrees
16
for your
minutes
finally Friday.
after 9
Mostly
o'clock,
clear.
and
Light
joining
and
us
variable winds. Light and variable sounds like a yogurt, but it's
in the
just the kind of
studio.
wind we're going to have on Friday. Mostly clear and a low of around 37 degrees. For Saturday, sunny skies, 78 degrees for the high. Saturday night, mostly clear, 43. Sunday, sunny and 79 degrees. 13 minutes after 7 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and then we'll be replaying the interview we had with Don Weld and Lizzie Lee from American Legion Post 61 on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
So what do love and onions have in common? Well, they both can make you cry, and both are on our mind right now. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. February is a time for roses and chocolate kisses, but it's also time to plant onions. Yeah, I know, you were wondering, where is he going with this? Growing your own onions is easy and fun, and we have everything you need to get started. So when you think of love, think of onion.
Just be sure and bring along a few breath mint.
Yes, dear.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
It's that time again for Central Valley Electric Cooperative's annual meeting. So mark your calendar for Saturday, March 16th. The drive-through meeting will be at the Bulldog Bowl parking lot, and the first 200 registered members will receive a $50 gift card, a goodie bag, and be entered for a chance to win a door prize. CVE is your co-op. Use your power and come vote at the annual meeting. You can drive through anytime between 9 a.m. and noon on Saturday, March 16th. Hope to see you there.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
In the studio
of Duck Dynasty and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in the studio is Don Weld and Lizzie Lee from American Legion of Post 61. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing great. How you doing, Sean?
Doing good. I'm just finally getting Mike's butt groove out of this chair. I'm kind of working my own, and so we're getting comfortable.
TMI.
We're finally getting comfortable over here.
I'm surprised you don't bring your chair over here.
You know, I would, but moving those chairs around at this point, we've had these chairs for so long. I mean,
fall apart.
This thing's it's in pretty rough shape. If you move it more than 10 feet, it gets mad, and then it wants a bottle of water. So it's a busy 2024 for a lot of folks, but a busy 2024 for you guys over at the Legion as well.
Yes.
How have things been going?
Busy, like you said. We just had our four chaplains ceremony.
How was that?
Went well. We enjoyed it.
Really
wish we could get more people to come out and see it because
we had some new people there.
Yeah.
It was really actually great.
Yep.
It's such a moving and just amazing story, and it's one that you really hope and wish that more people had a chance to hear.
They really should. And that's why we put it on every year.
It's not even selflessness.
Yeah.
It's just there are 4 souls that you can save with that life jacket, and that's why we have life jackets there. Yep. At this ceremony is to remember how real this was.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a moving story, and definitely one that, you know, and with you putting these on every single year, it gives a whole new generations a chance to hear that story. It keeps it alive. It keeps it in the ears and in the minds and hearts of folks, so that they can pass that on to future generations.
Right.
And I genuinely hope that, you know, as you know, we move on in time, that the 4 chaplains ceremony is something that stands the test of time and continues on through the years to come.
It should. I hope so too.
There is a national monument, forgive me if I don't remember exactly where it is, back on the East Coast, but it's not Washington, D.C. And that particular church has the stained glass windows, and actually the original memorial got moved because the building was being demolished, and so another church took it onto their property, and that's where it's at now. There is a website. Please don't ask me the website directions, but
well, you can find it
there.
Sure.
Yes.
Look for the 4 chaplains.
Yes.
Memorial and ceremony on the web.
And that's really to get that full perspective. It's sort of like one of those. It's a tough visit. You know, it's It's kind of like going to the Anne Frank house. You don't necessarily go for to enjoy. You go to
Haven't
immerse yourself.
done that
in
one yet.
history. I haven't done that one either. It's on my list, but it's immersing yourself in that experience. It's putting yourself in the place, in the time, and that's really the best way to experience it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And,
Very definitely.
And immerse yourself in that history. So so the Four Chaplains ceremony wrapped up for this year. Obviously, a lot going on with you guys taking over ownership of the cemetery.
Right.
And that's been a busy thing with transition of ownership and getting all the legal side of things signed off.
He and Commander Lee did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing we need right now, money.
Absolutely.
Because we got a lot of work to do out there. We want to get an in-ground sprinkler system.
Okay.
So that we don't have to haul those sprinklers around all the time. That's a lot. That takes hours of work.
That is a hassle to get everywhere saturated to the spots that it needs to.
That's right.
Getting that system would be a
we
big
really
help.
want to make that look like its name, Memory Lawn.
Memory Lawn,
Got a
absolutely.
Real nice lawn.
It is, and if you've never been out to Memory Lawn Cemetery, take a trip out there. It's beautiful with the fixture right there in the centerpiece, and it's a really nice facility. And you guys have done a great job keeping it up over the last few years. And now with ownership, obviously, that continues, and the responsibilities increase.
Yes, very much so. We want to put a Blue Star, family Blue Star, right? Monument out there.
A gold star.
Gold star. I'm sorry.
I keep doing that.
He does that. It's okay.
Well, there's a lot of stars.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ones. To keep.
Billions of them out there.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'm just fabulous.
See?
Yes.
See? Listen, gets it. There you go. All kinds of stars out there, but gold star.
Family Gold Star Monument.
Okay.
We would like to put that out there. So again, we need donations to get that going.
Sure.
And move some things around and just little touches here and there. But
Yeah, we want to get a new POW flag. And the one that we're have up there right now is not the size that it
to match
could
the
be.
U.S. flag.
Well, it's going to be just a touch smaller.
Right. Well, not
Just a touch smaller.
It's a balancing.
We
thing.
got more than a touch smaller. So,
it's a noticeable difference. Noticeable enough.
It's a noticeable difference,
that
and
people shouldn't get too upset.
And I try not to be embarrassed because it is a POW flag, and by golly, we got it up there.
Right.
So that's going to need a few dollars.
Sure. And upkeep of those flags too, because again, we live in windy
We need
Roswell.
to swap it out.
Flags do not last forever.
No, they don't.
No, and you can fix them depending on what the rules, and I have to go read the rules because I do have a regular sewing machine. I don't have a heavy duty one like Candy had, but we need to fix those. But when you take one down, then I kind of feel like we should put that up another one up because if we don't, there will be a few people calling to go, "Hey, what happened?"
Yep. Because there's that one dude with his binoculars sitting out on his patio going, "Flags down."
Yeah. But we are so grateful to the late Henry Mayhew for his, oh my God. When I went out there that time, when I went out there and saw that new flagpole, I was crying.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And it's
It really
amazing.
helps.
It's just amazing how something that is, I mean, and obviously the symbolism and the the power behind that, but something so small can make such a major change, major difference.
It's a big pole.
It's a big pole, yeah.
You know what we could do to get people to notice it? We could turn the flag upside down.
Oh my
would-
God! No,
you know what?
We
That
are
would
so
get
not
it.
doing
They
that.
would.
We are
He's not
so
wrong.
not doing that.
Hey, controversy creates cash. And why
It's
is
a
that?
sign of distress, though.
Right. But
I may be having a bad day, but by golly, it doesn't raise to that extent.
Well, actually, there's other things too. Like, have you guys ever thought about? There's webcams out there for everything. There's actually.
I know.
I've sat for
Yeah.
like 40 minutes and watched a webcam of an intersection of like someplace in like Roanoke, Virginia. It was like it went viral for a while because like weird stuff would happen. People would just like start showing up with like signs and stuff. So for 40 minutes, I just sat and watched a webcam of an intersection. Y'all ever thought about putting a camera up on that flag?
No, but I can sit there and watch a eagle's nest waiting for the egg to pop open in northern Minnesota, no less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. So
remember, for 4 months, I don't know if you guys remember this, but a few years ago, the entire world and the internet stopped everything they were doing and watched a webcast of a pregnant giraffe.
Giving birth.
I saw it.
Giving birth, yeah.
I saw it. It may not have been that second, but I did see it later.
Well, because it just kept going on, and by the end of it, people were just like...
And they drop on their head.
Mm-hmm. By the end of it, people were just like, why are we still here? And it finally happened, and it was a momentous occasion, and then we all moved on with our lives.
Yeah.
But see, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we get maybe like an LED
Don't we
lighting.
have one already out here on the corner?
Do we? A webcam?
Yeah, I heard last year, and I actually went to it, and it was on the corner of like something in the courthouse.
Maybe. I don't know if we have one there, but I know that we used to have one up on the top of the SunWest building. That's where KOB used to have their... or KBIM, excuse me, used to have the TV channel KBIM. Let me clarify. Used to have their camera of downtown Roswell, but I'm thinking like an LED lighting setup. Maybe have like the lights change and give people something to look at while the flag flies.
No, at night you have to have a light on it.
Yeah.
That's one of the. I'm not even going to get into the rules of flying a flag, but I do remember. That if you fly your flag at night, you have to have light on it.
That's what we insisted on when we put up that new pole. Is that it had one of those lights up there.
It's a solar one.
Solar one, yep.
Oh, yeah. These last couple of days have been kind of rough.
Have you been out there to the post? Out to the pole?
Not
that
recently.
Thing. Oh no. We went from like one that was like this big to one that's like.
Yeah.
Well, I actually haven't been the one to run the up and down thingy on it, but he does that.
The up and down thingy. That's actually the technical term. The uppy downy thingy.
Yeah.
But that's
what?
The uppy downy thingy. This thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it's called either. Bast or ballast or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an awesome addition to the cemetery, and obviously. We don't want to make light of the reason for the cemetery. Obviously, is to pay homage to our fallen soldiers.
Yeah,
and that's what it's a great
all 297 of them, and finding more every time we turn around.
Which brings up the next thing.
Oh.
Every Christmas we put our wreaths out there.
Absolutely,
and we need donations for that.
I know it's crazy as we're getting into the 70s and temperatures are back on the upswing to start thinking about Christmas again.
I know.
But 'tis the season to start thinking about it.
If we start putting the money in there now, it's what, $17 a wreath now?
It's over 17. I don't know what the numbers will be this year.
It's on the website. They'll tell you. You go in there and look for donations. It'll take you to the
Wreaths Across America.
Wreaths Across America, and you can make a donation there for a wreath that will be shipped to the Legion just about the first part of December.
And you don't have to just settle for one. If you want to make like a $50, $100 donation to Wreaths Across America, that'll supply several wreaths.
Right.
It's a great way to.
So there's several ways of getting there. The wreathsacrossamerica.org, or you can go on to roswelllegion.org, which is 3 L's, by the way.
Looks funny, but
it looks funny, but it's there. It's roswelllegion.org, and that is actually the website for the whole family 61. You can find the links to go other places, and you can make that donation now. Put a wreath in the memo line, and boom, your money is set aside for this next December. You won't need to remember to do it if you got the $17+ today.
Tax season, that tax return, go on and put $17 or $170. Get 10 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I got backflow on.
But no, absolutely.
That's what I did last year.
It's tax deductible, and you touched on something too. Oh, excuse me. We played footsie for a second. You touched on something there for a second. I say every single year, right around like November, I wished I'd have started planning for Christmas early. I wished I'd have started buying Christmas presents in like March, so I'd be really prepped. But then I'm always like, it's December 24th, and I'm just waiting on a paycheck to go get the last of things. get prepared for Christmas early. This is the season
That's right.
to start thinking
Knock
about
it,
it.
knock
You
it out
can-
of the ballpark
That's
now.
right.
There you go.
You can donate to this in somebody's name.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
That's-
So
that's-
that's your Christmas present.
That's
Yeah.
a great way to to give honor to somebody who a loved one that you've lost, and also to help out a great organization.
There are discounts if you do more than one. I think the first level might be 3. And so then we place up the order for it, and then they come back and say, okay, you're
getting so many X number.
you're getting extra because we got over a certain amount or whatever, then we get extra. So we put every dime, any extra, straight into more wreaths.
And by the way, I think it should be said, these are quality, beautiful
They're
wreaths.
beautiful.
are they?
Made in America.
Yes.
Oh my
Grown in
God,
America,
yes.
Grown in America and made in America.
By veterans.
By veterans, absolutely.
Yes.
They hire veterans to do these, make them.
It's an amazing organization. This is kind of just a side thing, but I learned something recently that I thought was fascinating. I'm really into watching military ration videos, review videos on YouTube. It's a strange subset of
Ration?
YouTube. Military ration videos, MRE videos. Basically, they open up MREs and try the components. One of the most fascinating things I found out is a lot of these MREs components were packed by an organization called the Oklahoma School for the Blind.
Oh, that's right.
I
forgot that.
There's an organization in central Oklahoma that strictly hires
Current
blind.
or old?
No, this is current. They've been in operation since I want to say like the 20s or 30s, but they only hire blind and visually impaired people that come in and actually pack these rations.
I think I actually drove past them on the way to vacation.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's just a side fact, but it was just something that you guys had mentioned.
Yeah, because it's actually it's not small.
No, it is a
a large campus. It took up a bit, and it I would say that wow, yeah. No, I didn't know. I didn't know when we drove past it. It was they do the MREs.
That's what they do. Yeah, that's one of the many things that they teach folks. Life skills and things like that, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah, giving back to the folks out there who are fighting on the front lines every day. Just kind of a fun fact.
Yeah.
So obviously the money is the big focus. We want to make sure that we can have the money that's necessary to make these updates, these changes to the cemetery. And there's lots of ways that people can donate. They can donate through RoswellLegion.org or there's several ways. You can make a monetary donation. You could call you guys in person.
Send a check.
Yep.
Now, are you guys participants in the Smile program, the Amazon Smile program?
No.
Okay, this is I'll talk to you guys off air about it, but this is something that I think they still do. Amazon has a pilot program where they'll let someone go and put your name in as a charitable organization, and a portion of every cent that they spend on Amazon goes to your organization.
Yes, I did hear about that.
An affiliate program. The folks out at the Aviation Museum, they're a part of the Smile program. But it's a passive way to kind of have some income, and it's something you could put on your website and have people link to. So when they're doing their Amazon shopping, getting their toilet papers and whatnot, a couple cents comes your way, and they don't even know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
So just another thing to think about, putting a spur in your bonnet.
It's like I see at some of the stores. If you round up your bill a few cents to the next whole dollar, that few cents goes to whatever organization is designated by that group. You can do that. That's what this Smile program is. I remember that now.
And that's great and everything, except for when you get to the thing and you get your total's like $12.01.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to round up this time.
Yeah.
That's a whole dollar. Dang it. Now I got to round that up. But lots of ways to help out the American Legion. And obviously you guys are constantly busy. How are we looking as far as flag retirement? Anything with that coming up?
We keep collecting the flags. We haven't set a date yet or a place.
We're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
More than likely, we will work with the other American Legion post 28. They have a burn pit.
Okay.
So We have done that in the past there. Maybe we can work with them and do that again this year.
Reach across the aisle and say, hey, we have resources. Let's use them together.
Right.
Absolutely.
I have a note to make. We make no money off wreaths across America.
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Okay.
Nothing.
Just make sure I had to.
Just for disclaimer's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, it is an amazing organization, and the fact that we're
and they do so much teaching with the children.
They really do, and the fact that we're helping to keep them going keeps the wreaths coming. It keeps that tradition alive.
And we used Family 61's Pack 61 for the Scouts. We have a Scout group. We had them helping put them down. Like I have a difficult time reaching to the ground.
Sure.
So. And I don't feel like going, with the wreath. So that's a sign of disrespect.
Of
so,
course.
I grabbed one of the kids and said, hey.
Okay,
No, not physically.
Down. This is how
not
we do
physically.
it. Yeah.
I looked at his mom and said, can he help me? And she's like, yeah.
This is something I've learned as my hips and knees stopped working the way they used to. Child labor is fantastic in situations like that.
I need me.
Utilize your children, folks. We don't do enough of it.
I see them in the buggies at the store, and it's like, what aisle did you get that one at? I need one.
It's funny. I have two, one 5, 1 10, and my 5-year-old likes to ride on the front of the cart. 10-year-old gets jealous because she's too big to ride on the front of the cart.
Yeah.
So she gets mad and she just stomps along.
Oh, I'm to let you know that the Amazon shut down the Amazon Smile customer donation on February 20 of 2023.
Did they?
And they're going to pursue other areas to make a meaningful change in disaster relief and et cetera, et cetera.
Gotcha. So they're
there you go.
Wow. Too bad.
Doggone it.
Nice idea,
that
but
been nice.
That's okay. We help out in so many different avenues that, we need funds for the general.
Sure.
Whoa.
We need funds for memory lawn. We need funds for gas. We need funds for this.
Facility upkeep. I mean,
we don't have a facility at this time.
Okay.
As we tell people, we have
getting a facility. We need money for that.
We
do.
We do. We have no building. We have no bar. It's set in our rules not to have a bar for a certain period of time. So,
we want to extend that too, probably.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places that people can go.
No, there is already.
That's right.
There is already post 28, and they've been here for 100 years, and they have their own building and their own bar. And they have their own clientele. So we stick to the 4 pillars. We stick to asking I had to laugh when you said about the 99 cents, about rounding up.
Yeah.
Okay. So true story. You haven't walked past me on a Saturday at farmer's market in front of the courthouse after July. And the first thing I'll ask you is, can you
spare $1 for
for veterans
and kids? Yeah.
And people will go, $1? What the hell's $1?
Yeah.
Your dollar, and I stand out there and say this, your dollar and that person's dollar and that person's dollar. And the next thing I know, I have enough to group with other money to pay for a meal for a veteran, pay for a night in a motel,
get somebody off the street.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing that we deal with now is with mental health issues and with obviously PTSD and issues like that. It's led to homelessness for a lot of veterans. It's led to hunger for a lot of veterans, and just dealing with things like that on a consistent basis. And when the VA hospital falls through, when veterans
don't get me going.
Services falls through. There's folks like the Legion to kind of pick up what falls through the cracks.
We do our
gigantic
best.
Gaping cracks.
Yeah, we do our best to do that, but we need money to do
Absolutely.
that. So
100%.
Anytime we can get donations, we don't use it except to help the veterans and the community. And their kids, their families.
And that's something that you can sleep good at night knowing that your money is 100% going towards the thing that you mean it to go towards. If you give to save the children, who knows where that money's going towards.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure that what's the Sarah McLachlan gets a cut for her arms at the Eagles song.
I used to work on a commercial company's their donation group, and it was all employees. And once a week, we would sit down and look at the requests because we would just tell people, bring it in writing, and that will be easier for us. And so I get it.
There's a lot of hands in those pots, but when it comes to a donation to the Legion, your money is 100% going towards helping veterans, towards keeping up memory lawn, towards obviously the all the services that you guys provide throughout the year, up to including the retirement ceremonies, things like that. All these things cost money.
Right.
I mean, they're all expenses.
So when you see us with our, what they used to say, hat in hand, but it's serious because like the baked goods that we have on Saturdays at the farmers market is that's donated by
our members.
Yeah. And when I say a pair of twins made those, they're the cutest little twins.
I'm just grabbing one of these.
That was our very first one.
Yeah, these potholders that Mike. I mean, he's had this here for about a year now.
Oh God!
I always forget about that thing until I look over. But yeah, I mean, crafty people that are putting their know-how to good use. Making some tasty treats, making some useful items, and helping out the organization all at the same time.
That's right.
It's great.
So we work hard at that. And we will sit down now. I will say that I am the chair for fabric fundraising projects. Okay. And
if you have fabrics. If you have some fabrics that you were going to make a dress, maybe you're going to make a
there's always extras,
whatever. Yeah. Bring it down. They can turn it into something that
steering wheel covers. I think you guys were making at one point.
We did.
Yeah. The girls were really good at that. I wasn't that great, but was the chair.
They did a good job.
They did a good job. I haven't finished mine. That's sad to say.
Maybe have some more this summer.
Okay.
Maybe
when we get out.
We have another individual, Miss Robbie. That woman, she can crochet up a lap Afghan like there's no tomorrow.
It's amazing when you get the really
extra yarn.
The skilled ones when they get needles in hand. They're like NASCAR pit crews. They're just like it just comes out like a machine. It's amazing.
We got another bag of 8. Okay, well we'll send them over to the veterans at this nursing home or that nursing home. And when my husband received his first one, when he was on the state level, he had to visit all the different posts around the state. And some lady gave him a blue and white one. And we were like, that's nice. Don't need it, but it's nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you know what? I may be from northern Minnesota, but it still gets cold down here.
That's right. Yeah.
I needed it sitting in the back seat of the truck.
It
gets cold back there. And then he's out here in his electric wheelchair at 6:30 in the morning. I got that there Afghan. That's over him. Yep.
Telling you
it
what.
may be a lap Afghan, but I tell you,
it's useful.
It is more than useful. So and then I sing their praises, and I don't remember which post it was, but it is just, we need donations of yarn. We need donations of cotton fabric. And I understand that we still need cash donations because we've been forced to turn vets away. So we really need everyone in town to help because a lot of these vets, they're from here.
Right. They're not.
Yes.
They're not They're not transplants. They're our own native, sons that are suffering.
Some of them are living here in town,
right?
And they're getting by, but they have some of them have a place to stay.
Right.
They actually may own their house or something, but they can't keep it up. They can't get a meal. They're struggling.
Yeah, especially
So-
those folks who are on fixed incomes, who are
Right.
that
It's even tougher.
And yeah, that fixed income doesn't meet up with the cost of living. I don't know if they've gotten a
No
COLA
way.
in quite some time. So it's definitely a struggle. Money is vital. The other thing that's also vital is time. That's the most valuable thing any of us have. And I mean, obviously, these things require many hands, from helping veterans to upkeep at memory lawn.
Yeah.
So you guys are obviously looking for volunteers, folks who can
Oh,
step
yeah.
up and help out.
If there's a veteran out there that is not in a Legion post, or maybe in what they call the national post, the
you
post
mean
99.
Yeah, I think 14 here in this
14,
state.
yeah.
In this
Okay.
state,
Post 14.
if your thing says that you're in post 14, just to let you know, you are still sending money to the wonderful state of New Mexico, but it's not going to any post.
Right.
That's right.
It stays at the state level, and we are already funding them from the membership fees.
Right.
So they're not getting just membership fees from us. They're also getting all of your funds, except what they have to send to national.
Right.
And they're wonderful people up there in Albuquerque.
But they're set. They don't need it right now. We need it locally.
We
Let's
do.
Keep it local.
We need
If
it
they
here.
join
We
our
really
post-
and truly need it
if
here.
they join our post, then a portion of their dues each year goes to the local post and is used for the local community.
And you touched on something back there that is key. That you don't have a facility, and it makes you more mobile. It keeps your feet on the ground to where you're listening to people. You're in touch and in tune with what's happening in the community. You talk to folks. You run into a homeless veteran on the streets. This makes you more attuned to what's happening around you. There's no walls separating you from what's happening.
That's right.
Post 14 is a holding post and stays at national every last penny. There is absolutely not one dime kept here in New Mexico.
That's right.
So I fixed my statement. I'm glad that
I thought it was
Commander Lee is
national, yeah.
listening to me.
You heard a wire. I feel like you're getting fed information over here.
Somebody convinced me to get a smartphone.
And there you
but
go.
you got to be smart to work it.
I love when your accent comes out.
What?
You just said smartphone. That was absolutely adorable.
Oh, you mean me and my boat?
That was absolutely adorable. I just had to point that out. she was convinced to get a smartphone.
You think I was joking about being from northern Minnesota?
No, I love it. That's what I'm saying. I grew up watching watching a TV show with the mom who had that exact accent, and so you kind of latch on to certain things.
Yeah.
And I hate the movie Fargo. So we're not even going
completely
there.
understand.
We're not even going there because that movie, if you followed the directions, you'd end up in the middle of a lake. Just telling you, yeah. All right, I'll get off my soapbox.
I love looking at the works of the Coen brothers as that wasn't directionally accurate.
And it wasn't meant to be because you'd be showing up at someone's house.
But back on point, obviously,
Forgive me.
we need we
Money.
need your money.
I need
we
my
your
money. I need membership.
Any and all donations that you can make will be absolutely appreciated and put to
Especially since we have 2024 convention. That's go ahead and smile. Yeah, you. I'm not killing him until after the convention. But
Day
the
of
state
execution.
convention is here
Oh wow.
at the end of June.
Okay.
And we have cloning me would be wonderful. Let's just say that. But
We're working on the technology right now. I
yes,
promise.
thank you. We need donations. I've got to find all sorts of donations,
Yeah, it's
cash and otherwise.
It's
'cause
an
I'm-
undertaking.
It
Yeah,
is.
the
We're
swag
going
bags are going to have to be
the-
filled.
The American Legion every year, every summer has their convention in some location in the state.
Right. To put a focus or a spotlight on that
On
that
the-
lead.
And
on
last
state
year was
group,
Las
yeah.
Cruces.
Right. Yeah. And every year they ask, okay, 2 years from now, we want to do a convention someplace else. And 2 years ago, they came to us and well, me, and says, we'd like to do a convention in Roswell. Well, there's an old saying that it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. So I'm still asking permission or forgiveness from my commander, because I opened my mouth and said, yeah, we're going to have a convention in Roswell.
Do that?
Yeah.
And they look at you and say, what?
That's about what he did.
Olympic committees have like 16 years to plan this out. They're like, we'll give you 2.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, but we're getting there. We've got pretty much everything in place.
We have a venue. We know kind of
all we need is a few more dollars to finish it out. You know, maybe a little more donation.
There will be hundreds of people here.
Yep. The whole state.
Yeah.
American Legion.
Yep.
And this is our chance to either, you know, to shine or to look, you know, foolish.
And it is serious.
Yeah.
They're here. They've been asking, where can we go? Where can we take the grandkids? You know, I'll be in this meeting, and where are you going?
Right.
What's free? What's not?
Exactly. This is great for Roswell too, because puts heads in beds.
That's right.
I mean, it's great for the lodgers tax. It's great for the community as a whole. When we have conventions like this here, this benefits our local economy.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, grandma and the kids, you know, may not be interested in, you know, part of the auxiliary meeting that goes on, because there's a meeting for the veterans. There's a meeting for the auxiliary people, which is the spouse, male or female. And people can be in, like Miss Robbie, she's a veteran.
Okay.
And she's also in the auxiliary.
Okay.
And
double hatting it.
right. And like Mike, he's a veteran. And he's also in the Sons of the American Legion.
Right. And I know that Kim is also a part of the auxiliary.
And
Kim is also a part of the auxiliary, and she always has some good ideas.
Oh, does she?
Leave it to a teacher to be the one to think of
Oh,
all
yes.
the- all the-
Oh my gosh. She's
great.
awesome.
She's
yeah,
great.
she is great. And I'm supposed to think of him as the man behind the curtain. And he's also shaking his head vigorously at about what you did one Saturday night.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes we let this work before we let this work. It just happens.
Yeah, that's right.
But the end result is going to be something that's beneficial for everybody.
We're running with it, and
I love just give
I'll
the man
look like
break.
a duck.
Give the man a break.
Yeah.
No,
I think we're there. I think we've done. I've had a lot of support.
Sure.
Of the whole Legion, you know. So, and I love this Legion. You know, we're probably one of the smallest legions in the state, and we do big things.
That's right. Small group, but big hearts.
Yeah.
We just get out there and do it, because everybody in this group is gung ho, and they really get out there and put
There's
their
no
heart
half
into
measure
it.
by anybody.
That's right.
They're always thinking about this craft, the next craft, you know.
What can we do next? Who can we help next?
And that's vital, is keeping your eyes on what's next. Not
That's right.
Because right now
Well, we have Memorial Day out at Memory Lawn, and we're going to try and make our own wreaths for the different services that Miss Pat Goff bought the round metal things for each service. I don't think there's one for the Space Force yet, but
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I was thinking we just get the Great Gazoo from the Flintstones.
There you go.
To represent Space Force. Come on, you don't remember the Great Gazoo?
Gazoo?
The little green guy that popped up on.
Oh no, some of the United. Sometimes my dad would. I'm an Army brat.
Okay.
Or brat.
Yeah.
So I was in Germany.
You said that. I didn't.
Like for 8.5 years. So there are some comics that I never, and cartoons that I didn't.
Flintstones had this little
Little
Martian.
green alien, yeah.
Yeah, the little
Did
alien.
they?
He popped up. It was later seasons. He'd pop up on Fred's shoulder and he'd go, "Hello, dum dum."
Yeah.
It was
Really?
Yeah, it was just like a little comic relief thing.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go online and watch
That was
those.
mostly.
Lee would probably know.
I shouldn't mock the Space Force. I know that it's very
Actually,
important
they're
as well.
very vital.
Oh, 100%. Like I actually saw an ad. I looked at the time. We got to wrap up here soon. But I saw an ad online that was talking about debris in space traveling at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour can put a hole in any material.
Yes.
And that's it. There's space debris like that everywhere. And
yes,
Space Force. This is the kind of thing that they're helping combat.
Monitor. Yeah.
So it's all their operations are vital. So I shouldn't make fun. It's just it's easy to. But I digress. As we wrap up the hour, $64,000 question. If folks want to make a donation, time or money, how do they reach out to you?
Well, the phone number.
Online.
No, you go ahead.
RoswellLegion.org.
Okay.
And then Lizzie has the phone number here.
Roswell Legion has 3 L's.
Yes. LLLEGION. Correct?
Yes.
No, LEIGON. Legion.
Roswell Legion.
Yes.
Yeah.
.org.
.org.
And our phone number is 575-268-0220. We are Family 61. We are the veterans. We are the spouses and granddaughters and nieces and that in the auxiliary. And then we are also the Sons of the American Legion. We are the Scouts for
PAC. For the Cub Scouts.
PAC 61. And then we also adopted
Troop
2, which is a 100-year-old troop
Boy Scout
that we
troop.
have here.
Yep.
We actually desperately need, and we've asked NIMI for help to fix the roof of the inside of this building. National Guard, pardon. And so, we need them, or I need the people at various roofing companies. This is a small building across from the Roswell Adult Center, and we're now responsible for not only funds, but oh my God, like sending me up on top of a roof is a really bad news.
No.
And you don't want me operating a hammer.
Possible.
I don't want to or a bottle of glue. That's why I only work with fabric.
There you go. You know where your craft skills lie. Right. But if you can donate anything, time, money, or anything like that, RoswellLegion.org or again 575-268-0220. Dawn, Lizzie, thank you guys so much for your time. And thank you for all you do. I mean, we really appreciate it.
Thank you for helping us out.
The Legion couldn't work without you guys. And obviously you being the boots on the ground for Lee, it's
yeah, I got the smartphone. He shot more stuff to my direction, but
I just feel like he's in a command post, like basically directing you. Okay, go here.
One last thing they can find on that website.
Yes,
we offer scholarships for school, almost any STEM-based school. Anybody who has a veteran relationship.
Absolutely. So reach out, RoswellLegion.org or 575-268-0220. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate having you here, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time with one of your 75 hats.
There you go.
Thank you for your time. 3 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up.
One person has died in a tragic crash on South Main Street near the Roswell Air Center. RPD says just one car was involved at about 1 p.m. Wednesday. Another person in the vehicle was seriously injured and was rushed to a local hospital, but had to be extricated from the wreckage by firefighters. No other details about the crash are known at this time. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving through southern New Mexico today. Could bring us a few showers for a while. They'll wrap up by about noon, and then we should get some sunshine back. Our afternoon high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight will be clear, mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday. Warming up a little bit. We're in the mid 70s. Things look fair for the upcoming weekend, but a little windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast. forecast.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. District basketball tournaments continue tonight. For instance, with the Roswell Coyotes playing host to the Hobbs Eagles. That starts at 6 o'clock. The winner will go to play at Clovis for the district championship. Roswell and Hobbs have played twice this season. They're district rivals, of course, and each team winning on their home court. Also tonight, you got the Gateway Christian Warriors playing at Dora. That starts at 6 o'clock. The Hagerman Bobcats won last night against Tatum by a score of 81-61. By our calculations, that means they have to play tonight, and they would have to play every night until Saturday to win a district championship. Tonight, it'll be at Loving. Also, last night, it was Jowl defeating Hagerman in girls hoops by a score of 36-34, and Gateway Christian knocked off Elida 53-24. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. economic growth in the fourth quarter was lowered slightly, but its composition was much stronger than initially thought, which bodes well for the near-term outlook, even as activity got off to a weak start because of freezing temperatures. Wall Street's main indexes slipped on Wednesday ahead of an inflation reading that would influence expectations about when the U.S. Federal Reserve will start cutting interest rates. Boeing has agreed to a U.S. government demand to develop a comprehensive action plan to address systematic quality control issues within 90 days, after a mid-air emergency last month sparked renewed safety concerns. The head of the FAA demanded the plan on Wednesday. Wendy's says it has no plans to raise prices during the busiest times at its restaurants. Wendy's will not implement surge pricing, which is the practice of raising prices when demand is at its highest. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Get your tickets now for Red Zone Presents A Night with Jason Witten, coming to Artesia Saturday, April 13th. Jason Witten is an 11-time Pro Bowl selection and 2-time NFL All-Pro with the Dallas Cowboys and is currently head coach at Liberty Christian High School in Argyle, Texas. Jason is one of sports' top leaders on and off the field. Tickets are free, but you must have a ticket to enter. To get your free tickets, contact the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This invitation courtesy of H.F. Sinclair. Excited about Jason Witten coming to Artesia.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
He'll step through 2027.
McConnell leaves the Senate and the Republican Party itself at a crossroads. Wednesday's announcement comes before the Super Tuesday presidential primary elections, when Donald Trump is expected to sweep up more states to the Republican Party nomination. McConnell has yet to endorse Trump, and the two men have not spoken since December. Trump's rise left the long-serving McConnell few options, but first he wanted to secure the Ukraine aid package, which overwhelmingly passed the Senate but is now stalled in the House. Keith Peters reporting.
Congressional negotiators have a deal to avert a partial government shutdown this coming weekend, funding federal agencies through March 22nd, although congressional approval is required before it's a done deal. Former President Trump and President Biden staged dueling border visits today. Mr. Trump visits the southern border at Eagle Pass, Texas, while Mr. Biden travels to Brownsville, Texas. A Russian rocket has successfully placed an Iranian satellite in orbit. The launch underscores increasingly close ties between Moscow and Tehran. Consumer prices rose 0.3% from December
good morning.
to January.
It is
The latest report on inflation
7:00,
sees stocks higher this morning on Wall Street. Right now, the Dow trading about 53 points to the upside. The Nasdaq is ahead 145 points, and the S&P is up 25 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
France's Senate has adopted a bill meant to enshrine a woman's right to an abortion in the French Constitution.
In supporting the bill, French politicians have cited other countries, including the U.S., where the right to terminate
And good
a
morning.
pregnancy
It
had been
is
taken away.
27 minutes
The lower house
after 7
approved the
o'clock. And
legislation
joining
last
us
month, and on
this
Wednesday,
morning
the upper
from
house,
the New
Senate,
Mexico
did
Military
too.
Institute.
In a social media post afterwards, President Macron said he was committed to making women's freedom to
And
have an
good
abortion
morning. It
even
is
possible by
27
enshrining
minutes
it in the
after 7
Constitution.
o'clock. And
He has
joining us
convened a joint
this
session
morning
of Parliament
from
on
the
Monday,
New Mexico
where the bill is
Military
expected to get its
Institute,
final
we have
approval and would make France the first country in the world to make the freedom to abort a part of its
And good
core
morning. It
principles.
is
The BBC's Andrew Achier in the
7
U.S.
o'clock. And
The issue of
joining us
abortion has been
this
left to the
morning
states
from
to
the New
decide.
Mexico Military
Helicopter flying
Institute.
between an offshore oil platform and mainland Norway has crashed in the North Sea. One person was killed. News and analysis, townhall.com. The battle against wildfires raging in the Texas Panhandle goes on as the inferno spreads.
It's led to evacuations, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for 60 counties. It's part of a complex of fires that's jumped into Oklahoma as well.
It is jumping the road right now,
Video
north-south
from
182.
KWTV, KOTV in Ellis County, Oklahoma, shows a line of flame and a wall of smoke 180 degrees across a horizon of rolling grassy hills. Fire crews have been battling the blaze and shutting down roads, and local ranchers are rounding up cattle. Officials in Borger, Texas, told residents to be ready to leave. Resident Adriana Hill said it was like a ring of fire around the town with no way out because all 4 main roads were closed. She said luckily they were saved by a northern wind that blew the fire in the opposite direction. I'm Jennifer King.
A shooting in Orlando, Florida late last night left at least one person dead. Several other people were injured. No word on a motive. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Welcome to it. Hopefully you guys are off to a great start. Snow covered, yes. A lot of people waking up going, wait, snow? Yes. We sort of talked about it, teased at it yesterday, but a little bit of wetness in the sky, a low pressure system, as Steve would say, moved through the area, and yeah, we did get hit with a little bit of snow pack, but it's very wet. It's melting very fast. Kids, it is very packable, so while there's still snow out there, go pack a few snowballs, make a tiny snowman, whatever have you. I will say this, it's very pretty on the treetops. I'm just kind of looking out of the window here, the little picturesque window past Mike's weed tree. The snow just kind of glistening on top of the limbs of the tree. It's very picturesque. Anybody out there with a camera with a decent aperture or like a good photogenic eye, get out there and take some shots, because camera shots, not like, get hammered and then go take pictures, but hey, that sounds like fun too. But definitely some great shots to be had. Get it before it all melts away and it just looks yucky and brown and wet. That's what pretty much the rest of today is going to be, yucky and brown and wet, until the sun comes out later in the day and sort of puts a little bit of a bright note on that. But just a note of things, there's snow on the treetops, there's snow on the ground, and by this weekend, it will be 80 degrees for the high. We live in some weird times, man. Some weird times. Just a little bit ago, I was kind of browsing around on my phone, and I stopped on something that I haven't done I haven't watched in a long time, and for a good portion of my, of my time, it was one of my obsessions. Let me take you back to, we'll call it like April of 2020. You remember that, right? Right at the start of the pandemic. 14 days to slow the spread. I'm pretty sure we're still in that 14. I think we're on day 13 still. It's like 5 years later. But anyways, I digress. I know it's not that far away. But everybody was doing their sourdough starters or trying to find things to fill their time and fill the void because there were no sports. There was no live TV. So what did we do? We turned to our phones. We turned to the internet. And I don't know about you, but I got weirdly into marble racing. Yeah, you heard me. Marble racing. I even think I talked about it right around the midpoint of the pandemic. There's a league out there. There's a league of people who actually form teams and they set these very incredibly intricate tracks up, all full of twists and turns, little bumps and spinners and elevators. Basically, all these little obstacles for these marbles to get through. And you're thinking, okay, it's marbles, but it's the effect of gravity, and you really do start to like get behind some of these marbles. Like I was watching this video a second ago. I was rooting for orange. It shot out into the front right at the very beginning. And then right towards the middle of the race, it hit some moguls and all the other marbles caught up. And then the blue one swept up in the front. But then orange finally caught up and they were neck and neck there for a minute going through the twist pipes. And it was right about the midpoint of this video where I just, it scratched an itch. It was like a little nostalgic itch. I'm like, oh yeah. That's why I used to watch these. That's why I spent hours watching marble racing tournaments, because doggone it, it's mindless, it's pointless, but man, is it fun to watch. And yes, I'm rooting for a marble. What was really cool about the tournaments was they would actually have like teams. Like there was an orange marble. It was like Team Ozone, I believe it was. And they had merch. You could go on their website and buy a Team Ozone marble racing t-shirt. I say could. Still can. They're still around. Or actually, I think in like season 4 of the Marble Racing Tournament, the Marble Racing League. I can't remember exactly. It's JMRL, or I think it's like the Junior Marble Racing League or something like that. But anyways, it's amazing to me the world of sports that exist out there that nobody talks about. Like marble racing is one. There's another one though. There's a whole league of people, grown adults, who pay their mortgage, feed their children and families, being professional tag players. The game of tag. You're it. Yeah, that game. There are people who are professional tag players. It sounds absurd. That being said, go watch a professional tag match. It's kind of intense. It's like parkour, but then like you also have to like avoid getting touched by another dude who's equally good at parkour as you are. So it's kind of like, you remember in American Gladiators, that one round where they just basically said, let's quit the bull crap. We're just going to go at hand-to-hand combat, and you have to like wrestle your way past ice and diamond and all of them. Yeah, it's basically like that, but like on a parkour course. It's a lot of fun to watch. Anyways, not really sure where I was going with that, but happy Thursday to you. I think it was just that I got swept up in that mindset of nostalgia, the alternate sports of what I did to pass my time during the pandemic. Anyways, the snow day continues. No closures, no delays in the area. Sorry, kids. Get up, get at 'em, and get to school. It's not going to wait just because you want it to. But give yourself plenty of time to get wherever it is you're going if you haven't already done so. The road's pretty much clear. Still, though, let's be careful out there. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. I haven't even done the rundown for this hour of the program. Coming up here in just a few minutes, Mike had a chance to sit down and chat with New Mexico Military Institute's Lieutenant Colonel Dimvia Maslian and Clarice Coelho. With the New Mexico Military Institute, and they taking part in the National STEM Challenge. It's a really interesting program, and Mike had a great interview with those ladies. We'll play that coming up here in just a few minutes on this Thursday morning without Mike Winters. But right now, at 13 minutes after 8 o'clock, let us get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley.
Okay. It just stopped playing, but thanks, Steve. Peter's been doing some weird stuff this morning. I wonder if there's like ghouls in the system or something. I don't know. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thanks, Steve, for the beginning of that. 33 degrees with foggy conditions out there. The fog's starting to lift. It is misting out there, a little sprinkle out there. So please be cautious. Don't you don't have to go crazy about it, but be cautious out there because the roads, they can be dangerous sometimes. 92% humidity, winds out of the southeast at around 6 miles an hour, the barometer at 30.20 with a dew point of 31 degrees. Looking at gradual clearing today, 53 degrees for the eventual high. It's going to be cloudy throughout the morning, though, but high of 53 by the midday point. Winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, 35 for the overnight low. Winds out of the south 5 to 10, becoming northwest later in the night. For your Friday, partly sunny, then gradually becoming sunny. Okay. High of 72. Basically, the clouds will clear. Light south increasing winds 5 to 10 miles an hour in the afternoon. Mostly clear, 37 for Friday night. Saturday, sunny and 78 degrees for Saturday. Mostly clear, 43 for your high, for your low on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, 79 degrees for the high. Pretty much floating around room temperature into the midpoint of next work week as well. 70s to 72 degrees and a whole lot of sunshine heading into next week. So we're getting all of the weather this week so that we can have the sunshine next week. This week walked so that next week can run. There you go. 15 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're going to pause, pay a couple of these bills for about a 1-minute break. And after that, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had with the folks from New Mexico Military Institute right here on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
The University of New Mexico. It's the state's flagship, a world-class university right here in Albuquerque. Apply for admission at UNM today at unm.edu. That's unm.edu. The University of New Mexico is the university for opportunity.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter.
Fergalicious.
Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergie's Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergie's is on the job.
Fergalicious.
Attention high school students and parents. ENMU Open House Spring Preview Day is Saturday, March 23rd. Future Greyhounds can get information about admission and scholarships, meet with the faculty to talk about potential majors, get a specialized campus tour, and win great prizes, including a $500 scholarship. Don't miss out on this great opportunity to experience ENMU. Sign up today at enmu.edu/openhouse. Eastern New Mexico University, student success. That's what we're about.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. And good morning. It is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in this morning from the New Mexico Military Institute, we have, I didn't catch your rank, so I didn't do the rank part.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel, there we go. Dimvia Maslian. Or Maslian?
Yes, Maslian.
I get it the second time then. And then also, technically our star of today's interview. Let's see if I botch this. Clarice?
Yes.
Coelho?
Coelho.
All right. I was
almost there.
Almost there. So, well, good morning. How are you ladies doing today? Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Good morning too.
So, what year are you a student at the institute?
So I'm currently a senior
Senior?
at the New Mexico Military Institute.
In the high school?
Yes, high school.
Okay. All right. What? Tell folks where you're from originally.
Oh, okay. I'm originally from a town in Brazil called Diamantina.
Okay.
In the state of Minas Gerais.
Okay. Is it a very small town? Is it near like one of the major towns?
No, it's like Roswell.
Okay.
It's like a small town.
Okay. Now, are you closer to the shoreline or more in country where the mountains and things like that?
Yeah, I'm close to the mountains.
Okay. Very good.
I wish my state had access to the beach.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool.
Well, and that's what people don't realize. Brazil, I mean, it's a big country. I mean, it's one of I think it is the biggest, or I don't know.
It's the 5th
Okay,
biggest
I knew
country
it's
in the
right
world.
in there with the land-wise there, but you get everything. I mean, a lot of people see the beaches and the sand and that side of it, and that's one part of Brazil. But
yeah, that's just one part of it.
You get in country, and it's a whole different environment there with just like the United States. You know, you get on our coast and beaches, you get in the middle like this, and it's got mountains and desert and
yes,
everything.
Exactly.
Too. So now, how long have you been at the institute? Were you there for your whole high school career?
No, I came to the institute as a junior.
Okay.
So 2022.
Okay.
So this is my second year.
Okay.
Over there, and it was a really great time.
Excellent. So the reason we're here, not because she's from Brazil, although that's pretty cool and everything here, but kind of explain. Now you were in a STEM challenge, and was this a national challenge?
Yes.
Competing against students all across the country.
Yes,
at the high school level here.
Yes.
So kind of explain a little bit about the STEM challenge and what this was all about.
So she's one of our students for the STEM club at NIMI.
Okay.
And in November, we went to a training for the national. No, not the national, but the Governor STEM Challenge here in New Mexico.
Here in New Mexico. Okay.
Yes, and the organizer informed us that there was an email they received from the National STEM Challenge that they are inviting students to join.
Okay.
And so, but then when I went into the website, like the registration, the day they told us the registration is like in 3 weeks.
Okay.
So
it was kind of like, oh, we better get cracking here.
I know. So the National STEM Challenge is joined by different students, national, of course, the 50 states and the U.S. territories.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So in December, they announced the semifinalists.
Okay.
And then from those semifinalists, they had to do a video explaining their project.
Okay.
And then from that, they selected the champions. So there were 2,545 entries.
Oh, wow.
All in all. And like her project was one of the 126 champions.
Wow. So right down to the finalists.
Yes.
Here. Very
Yes.
good. So talk a little bit about your project and how kind of this, how you were inspired to do this as your project.
Okay. So the name of my project it's kind of long. It's Strengthening Defenses, Analyzing the Immunomodulatory Potential of Beta-glucan in Ordinary Mushrooms.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
So
I caught mushrooms.
So kind of like everything started when we were brainstorming.
Okay.
There's a STEM
For the
club.
title or for the whole project?
I mean, I think for both.
For her project.
So basically, we were brainstorming for the project, and then the beginning of the semester, for last semester, on the beginning of the fall, and then I knew I wanted to do something health related because I knew I wanted to follow that path. Like that
Is
pathway.
that your like pursuit? Is career
Yes.
is medical healthcare?
In that area, I'm not
Okay.
sure if I want to pursue the medical field.
Okay.
But something
definitely in
along
science
those, yes,
and
in science.
whether if you're not
and-
helping patients, you're in a lab
Yes, exactly.
creating the next thing to help patients, something like that.
Yeah. in that field,
Okay.
among those lines. And then I started brainstorming, and then I started to think, okay, if I'm going to do something to help people with their like health, the first thing that our body has is the first line of defense, our immune system.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something along those lines.
Okay.
And then I started to research, and then I came up with a substance called beta-glucan.
Okay.
This substance, it's usually on the walls of the cell walls of mushrooms.
Okay.
But it can also be found in other like
Okay.
living things such as
Gotcha.
bacteria and other mushrooms.
But more common in mushrooms.
Yes, more
Gotcha.
common mushrooms in
Okay.
the cell walls. And then I knew that this substance, as I researched, I realized that this substance, it can make our immune system work faster.
Okay.
So basically, it kind of
It's like if it works for
increases-
mushrooms, maybe it can help us a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it can make our immune system work faster and more efficiency.
Okay.
With more efficiency. So basically, I was like, okay, so how can I introduce that to someone's diet? Like, so how can I make that substance more present? Because I know many people don't like to take pills or don't like to take medicines every day because that becomes kind of a chore.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
and the older you
I
get, the more
forgot.
pills you gotta take.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to incorporate that to help people's immune system to get better. However, at the same time, I didn't want it to be a chore. Like, oh my God, I need to take this medicine every single day in the morning.
Yeah.
So that's when I came up with the idea, okay, why I don't just research the mushrooms? Like, I make a list with the ones with the highest concentrations. That's what I did.
Okay.
I created a list, and the mushroom with the highest amount based on my research was the lion's mane and shiitake. Those are pretty common mushrooms that we can find in the grocery
Yeah, you
store.
can go to the grocery store and pick them up all the time. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And then the whole thing of my project, the whole point of it was if you increase your amount of mushrooms in your diet, you can actually make your immune system work better. That's
Nice.
kind of a summary.
Do you
of
like
it.
cooking?
Yes, I
I
really
was
like
about to say, you could easily like pivot your career thing and do a little, famous
Yeah, we-
celebrity chef
We
kind of
can
thing.
be partners. I love
Exactly.
cooking too.
Exactly. Maybe because you gotta have. Well, if you're gonna do partners, you gotta have a gimmick. So you need like a good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
So you have like a Gordon Ramsay yell at you type, and then the other one's like real nice and like it's okay. You know what I mean? Something like that. But that's very cool. So how did this all like? What inspired you to take this project? I mean, were you just into mushrooms one day and said, you know what? I bet there's some, or did you read something that said, I bet we could do? I mean, what was it that inspired you to take on this project?
So basically, I knew I wanted to do something related with health and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm vegetarian.
Okay.
So basically,
So you're trying to already looking for ways
yes.
to incorporate those into your diet through other means.
Yes, because as a
except for meat.
vegetarian,
Yeah.
I need to make some changes. Like since I don't eat meat,
Right.
I need to get protein and other like substances from other like plants
Absolutely.
and mushrooms
Find
and
other protein-based
yes, other resources.
nuts and soy and things like that.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And then that's one of the ideas when I feel okay. Let's research some mushrooms. What can I get out of it? Since
Gotcha.
that was something I really like and I usually eat. So it's like I just kind of switch. I'm like put them together.
Now I'm a meat eater. I ain't gonna lie. I love me a cheeseburger. So but I know and seen a lot of times where they'll do burgers and things,
Yeah.
and instead of the meat, they'll use a mushroom, or
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yes.
got Impossible Burgers on now, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of the ways they were doing it before the fake meats came out was you making especially your shiitake and their larger mushrooms that you could kind
Yes.
of make a patty size out of. Literally were using that as kind of your base for your burger, so to speak. And so it does make sense that kind of thing. It's like and this is me being dumb and a little bit, but it's like cauliflower now. Back in the
Yeah.
day, everyone was like, "What's
just
now?" They put in everything. It's your rice, it's potatoes,
Yes.
it's pizza crust,
Yes,
it's
yes.
everything you pretty much. You can almost substitute it for anything that's a wheat based kind of thing now here, and and so mushrooms are in some ways doing some of that for meats and things too.
I think
Now, are
they're
you
gonna
like
do it
a
halfway.
vegan or vegetarian?
No, just vegetarian.
So you'll eat fish or milk or dairy or something?
No, I don't
or-
eat. Just dairy. I don't eat fish.
Okay.
So.
But you'll have a piece of cheese or
Yes,
or milk
I
or
love
something.
cheese. Like my state is known for its
I was
cheese.
about to
So
say that's my biggest thing.
I'm
with
kind of
vegans.
biased when it comes to that. I'm really biased about cheese.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate, and I'm like, all right, if you go vegan, and like, all right, maybe a steak I can find a way, but you can't replace cheese, man.
That's
Cheese
really
is-
hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Cheese is hard, and because everything that's bad, they fix it with cheese. Like when you're kids, you don't like your broccoli, throw some cheese on.
Yes, that's true.
Now that I think about that, because you grew up in Brazil, I'm very curious. What was, so we're talking about food and stuff. What's kind of some of your staples and things? The foods you see here, is that same kind of stuff or completely?
Oh, I mean,
lifestyle?
since here in New Mexico we have a lot of Mexican
Sure.
influence.
Yeah, obviously a
especially
lot of
in the
Latin
food.
spices.
So
and things.
we have some like similarities, but I think it's way deep. Like the it's way different, the food over there, especially the seasoning that we
Sure.
put on the food. Because when I came here for the first time, I was not used to the spicy food. So I really had a hard time, like, eating all the spice. I was like, oh my God, I can't eat this.
And that's the Mexican Latin influence.
Yes,
there,
and I was
right?
like,
That
I just can't. I can't deal with it.
Well, and something I've learned because I'm like you, I didn't grow up around this, but I've learned that like the Latin spice palette or a spice that like peppers and stuff they use in Latin-based cuisine generally is a different kind of hot than something you'd see in Asian or Indian cuisine.
Yes, it's a different.
To me, the Latin-based is a slow burn. Like it doesn't hit you right away. Like you're eating it, and then you're about halfway into it, and your whole mouth's on fire and everything's sweating, and you're like, oh my God, what'd I do? Whereas Asian and Indian, it tells you right up front. You put that in your mouth, and next thing you know, fire shoots out.
Yes.
And so to me, that's the big difference, where the Latin sneaks up on you. Next thing you know, you get half of it, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Whereas Indian or Asian cuisine, it's like, bam, right in your face there. So,
right away.
But anyway, I got off track here, so you're now a senior in high school.
Yes.
Now, where does this go with the STEM? Now, where do you take, like, do you get to continue research on this thing and then maybe pursue?
We would like to.
Is that kind of the next step? Now, is that something you do kind of on your own, or does because I know like we've talked in the past a little bit about where kids work on a patented project.
Yes, I'm trying to I'm trying to reach somebody from the National Society for Science.
Okay.
To see if
this is kind of like the inventors Hall of Fame kind of and all that.
To see if we can patent it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
and take it to the next step here.
Yes, because there was one article that we have read that it's not only like for the immune system, but it also can help for like for our. So you know how in our immune system there's a cell that is called T cells, which is responsible for like making sure that the number of cancer cells in our body stays the same.
I remember like, and this is where my age, I remember back when the AIDS epidemic was in a higher, much more, around the world or around in popularity. One of the words they said was that people, when they were getting sick, it was all about the T cells. Yes. Like the higher the number, the better. When it got low, that's when they had to. So in the immune system there. I was just giving a comparison for people to
so
like
that. We read one article that says beta-glucan 2 can help our T cells like to work faster. So let's say, for example, for people who have cancers, it will be very helpful because the T cells. So let's say, for example, without the beta-glucan, your T cells can work like killing cancer cells, like let's say in 1 minute, 5 cancer cells. But if you have the beta-glucan in your body, it can kill like faster. So maybe instead of 10 cancer cells per minute, it may be 20 or something like that.
So it's kind of like, this is where we get stupid. Picture your T cells like a soldier.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when you give them these now the soldier's got a bazooka and a hand grenade and a gun. He's better equipped. Where before you're like, no, here's your helmet. Get in there and do something, soldier.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah. And also, so for her National STEM Challenge, we are going to Washington, D.C. in April 11 to 14.
Oh, wow.
Have
you been to D.C. before?
No. Yes. We went there for there was a band choir trip.
Oh, okay.
It was like 2 weeks ago,
Nice.
and then we got the chance to go to
So do you
the
get to
VMI.
see sightseeing, or you're usually busy
No,
doing all
we
your
actually
stuff?
the last day we took the morning to sightsee.
Oh, good.
So it was really good.
Well,
We
hope you get a
to-
little bit more because
Yes.
there's a lot. I guarantee you didn't see all DC had to offer the first
Yeah,
time.
for
There's
sure,
a lot to see.
for sure.
So she will be joining the other 125 champions to showcase their project in a
very cool.
STEM festival.
Good deal. So does like when you do the STEM festival and everything, is there like companies and other entities that are seeing this? And they're kind of like,
this is our first time.
how
so
you
we don't know.
doing? You're in high school.
I would love to have an
let's
offer.
talk here. Maybe we can help you out through college.
Oh my God, that's literally my dream right now.
So this is really putting.
Hopefully.
Awesome. This is really putting the world's eyeballs on your project here, doing this
That's true.
and setting. That is so cool.
A lot of pressure too.
That is so cool. And you're what, 17?
I'm 18.
18.
I just turned 18.
Oh, well, that's different. And it's never mind. It's not that big a deal. You're 18 instead of 7. I'm just kidding. But that is so cool that you barely started in this world and you're already making huge strides in it. And that's so cool.
Yes,
So-
that's really awesome.
So I'm curious, not to put you on the spot or nothing, but you are the senior Colt at the New Mexico Military Institute. Is plans to be a Bronco in the future here?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Well, I'm applying for universities right now.
Well, so you got a lot of opportunities here.
Yes,
So,
and
but I
then-
didn't know if you just fell so in love with New Mexico that you're like, I got to have 2 more years of green chili and study in here.
Well, maybe. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do. But yeah, that's one of my options.
Good deal. So I'm curious, do you want to go back to Brazil or do you want to, where's when you're done with your education side, do you want to go back to Brazil? Do you want to see the world? Do you want,
Well-
obviously you're 18 and the world's your oyster. You haven't decided, but
Mhm.
if you had to pick today, what would you want to do?
Well, if I had to pick today, I would probably keep studying the United States.
Gotcha.
But that would depend a lot in the scholarships and financial situation.
Money does
'cause
determine how long
yes,
you get to do things sometimes.
That's
yes.
a really big deal for me right
Yeah.
now. And then if everything goes as planned, I keep studying in the United States.
Okay.
And then after that, I would love to travel the world and get to see other cultures and
Nice.
everything.
How much traveling? I mean, like you said, you've been to D.C. Have you done, other than Brazil and the United States, have you done some world travel and things?
I went one time to Australia.
Isn't
it was-
Australia cool? I got to go when I was 15
It
in
was,
the
it
Boy
was
Scouts.
really, really nice.
And
My
it
cousin
was
lives
really
there.
cool.
So I got to visit him. So it was really
Have you
awesome.
been? No, it's.
But I want to go and visit.
Yeah. We were like 14, 15 at the time. And so as soon as, and you can appreciate this because you've been there, but as soon as we landed and got to the airport, of course, you're below the equator, so everything's different. Now, you're used to this being from
Yeah, I'm
Brazil,
used
this
to
is
that.
old hat, but not us dummies that were up here the whole time. So we went to Australia, and then we go to the bathroom, and someone looks and says, something don't look right with this toilet. And then someone else said, the water's spinning the other way. I said, that's it, the water's spinning the other way. And so we were blown away by the fact that we're below the equator.
It's because of the
Gravitation.
Coriolis effect.
Yeah. And so we're like, how cool is that? And then the next dumb thing we did, we run out the airport to get on our bus, and they drive on the other side of the road. So we all run to the side where the door normally is. And there's the driver going, dummy, get over here.
Amazing.
We were so touristy when we got out there. But it was so cool to see that country and everything else. So now I'm curious. What's your dream country you haven't been to? What's your bucket list of places you
Oh my
want to
god,
see?
my bucket list.
Yeah.
I would say it's Italy.
Italy?
I really
Italy's
want to
awesome.
go to Italy.
A military sent me there
New
for
Zealand.
a few months.
Cool.
Yeah, New Zealand I
New
would
Zealand
like to check
and Japan.
out.
I think those 3 countries.
Yeah,
I would
Japan.
really
I've seen
love
the
to
pic.
visit
I'd
those.
love to just go through Tokyo and experience the shopping and all of the hustle and bustle of it. Just kind of
Mhm.
sit down and get ice cream from a vending machine and things
Yeah.
like that. And, just roll up to a place and grab sushi or something like, you know what I mean? Just like we grab a McDonald's burger. Or
Oh my
something,
God.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yes.
But very good. So that's awesome. So now you go in April to DC.
Yes.
Very cool. Now, how long is that trip? Is that like a couple days?
4
or?
days.
4 days.
Yeah, it's a 4-day
okay, so it's a
trip.
lot going on in and not a lot of time probably. Kind
Yeah,
of
so we're going to be really busy with all the events, with the presentations.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be really nice to talk to other people in the same field as I am. So basically they're also research, and that's
Sure.
something really cool and something I'm really looking forward for.
Yeah. Well, and imagine too that creates collaboration too.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
imagine you'll meet some people and they'll hear your idea about the mushrooms, and then they'll have maybe a layer to add to that,
Mhm.
or vice versa. You see their
Yes.
project and you have, well, that's cool, but what if you did it this way? And next thing you know, that's how big brains in a room together. That's how they come up with a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good
there, too.
ideas,
Cool.
hopefully.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like you're doing them. So, do you get a chance? Do you have family in Brazil and things? Do you get a chance
Yes.
to see them, or obviously in the world we live in, you probably can Zoom or FaceTime with
Yeah.
them pretty regular and frequently and all that. Do they get to come to the States to visit?
No, they've never been here before.
Well, maybe
but-
one day we can get you for
Yeah,
graduation
one day.
or something.
Maybe when my
doing-
college graduation,
Yeah.
or maybe when I'm in college, they might be able to come here.
Have they been out of the country before?
No, they've never been out of the country
So
before.
you're the like the astronaut of the
Yeah,
family
pretty
here.
much.
You're the
Like
one
the
breaking all
astronaut.
through the glass ceilings and doing all the things that
I'm
the
just like,
family's
why
never.
not?
Good
Let's
for
go.
you. It's great. Get to see the world. And
Mhm.
remember us little people when you're the next, at the World Scientist Conference doing all that stuff.
Because I've never expected I was going to study in the United States like at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because what happened was my school in Brazil, they did a partnership with NMMI, and then they chose the top 5 students from junior, sophomore, and freshman year to come here with a full ride scholarship. Wow. And fortunately, I was one of the ones that got the full ride scholarship. Nice. So that's pretty much how I end up at the institute. And that's
awesome.
That's something I would have never imagined. Like, if you asked me like 6 months before I came here, if I was going to study in the United States, I would be like, oh, of course not. Like, maybe in college, but not right now.
Right.
That was something really unexpected.
And now I'm curious, like what was that moment in your life as a little girl where you said, this is where I want to, I mean, was it something you saw on TV or something you saw in your neighborhood? What was it that kind of, was there, or was it a series of things that kind of drew your interest and say, this is what I want to do with my life?
I think it was like, I've always wanted to study abroad. That was one of my dreams. I was like, oh, I really want to study abroad and actually be like, in a high school musical movie. That was like one of my, like, I will study abroad one day. Gotcha. But I was planning to do that at college or maybe.
But like, were you a nosy kid? Like, were you the kid that like wanted to see how things worked? So you just tore it apart or added stuff to it just to kind of see what it did? Yeah. Because I think every person in science has a little of that in them. Mm-hmm. You got to say, what's this button do?
Yes, what does it do? You got to
have a little bit of that. Don't push that button, but I want to push that button.
I will.
There's a little of that in every scientist, I think. You know what I mean? So I didn't know if as a kid you were the one that made your parents crazy because you're tearing apart things or putting, quit mixing the things and all the things under the sink that you're not supposed to be mixing or doing whatever.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, good deal. That is so great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And good luck here in April. I hopefully maybe when that goes, you can come back and give us an update. And
of course.
If you're not, of course, that time April, you might be busy getting ready for your college plans and getting ready to do all, because it's kind of a busy time for you here.
Yeah, that's true.
Months.
But
because by the way, aside from creating a new thing that might save humanity with immune systems and all that, she does have to graduate high school and get ready for college and live her other life too.
Yeah, I'm still a teenager.
Do all that, knock that out real quick too. So that's amazing. It sounds like so. I'm curious, what's when you're not doing this stuff, what's your interests, hobbies? What do you like doing? What's fun for you?
Let me think. Well, I really like to play the guitar and sing.
So you do have a creative side too.
Yes, I really love that, and that's one of my passions. I've been doing that since I was like 7 or 8.
Sure. I'm gonna guess, just to take a stab, one helps the other.
Yes.
Like you see things better in math and science because your ability to do music, and vice versa. I think your ability
I think both of them
to do music is probably enhanced because you can understand and concept math and science equations and things. So I think that
both of them are connected in some way.
I think there is. I think now how to learn those things may be different for people.
Yes.
That's my de-stressing.
Yeah, exactly. Are you a musical person too?
Yeah.
You're not doing science stuff?
Yeah, I do karaoke by myself.
So you're a singer. Hey.
And I play
singing in the shower, still singing. I don't care what anybody says.
It still counts.
I play the guitar, but I'm not really good at it.
Yeah.
But I can play.
Hey, maybe if you can't design a mushroom that saves the world, maybe we can make a bar of soap that's shaped like a microphone for people in the shower. A karaoke soap.
Oh my goodness.
Karaoke soap. And maybe we can put a little Bluetooth in it and they can record themselves until the soap wears down.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Very cool. Is there anything we wanted to share? Any information that we just got sidetracked on, or we wanted to brag on a little bit here that we got sidebarred on?
I want to announce that New Mexico Military Institute will be hosting the first Southern New Mexico Regional STEM Challenge.
Oh, cool!
In March 16.
Okay, so here in about 3 weeks here, 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, today's the 20th. Listen, about 2 weeks.
So that is a ISEF affiliated event. So it means that we select the top 3 for that event that can go directly to the International Science Fair in Los Angeles in May.
So these will be students from all over
Southern
the state,
New Mexico.
or southern part of the state. Very
southern
good.
Part of the state,
for a chance to, who knows?
Yeah.
Be our next
National STEM Challenge champion.
STEM Challenge champ here, That's so cool. But come out. And of course, come see. Come, as the public,
Okay.
You want to see what our kids are doing?
Yes.
Come to the STEM Challenge and
Yes.
see some of these projects and cheer them on and ask questions and,
Get involved.
Well, and this is the kind of stuff because, we look in the world and we see what's going on in the media and the news and everybody's trying to be negative and all that. And it does eat at you sometimes. Sometimes what you need is seeing positive, seeing humanity do great things. And
that's very true.
The Institute is full of that. So come check it out. That kind of is a good counterbalance to the negativity in our world.
Yes. That's true. That's true.
That is very
So,
true. Thank
good
you
deal.
so much.
Well, thank you very much, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you
good
so
luck on
much.
the next phase here.
Thank
And
you.
please reach out when after April here, and definitely love to tell us
Oh,
how
yeah,
that
of
goes.
course, of
and
course.
love to see. And plus, you got to tell me about results from DC and kind of. I'd have food recommendations, but you're vegetarian, and most of my stuff requires a burger. So.
Oh, goodness. It's fine. No worries, sir.
But if you do get a chance, try to check out a sports game. Like it'll be in April, so you might catch some hockey, you might catch some basketball.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We'll
Caps
see.
and Wizards.
We'll see if we even have the time to go.
Yeah, and then of course nationals right around April. Depending when you go in April, that's right around the start of the season.
Wow.
You might be able to catch a DC football game or basketball
Maybe,
game. Not
maybe,
football, it's out of
maybe.
season, but basketball or hockey
Basketball,
or
yeah.
baseball. That'd be
I
kind
mean,
of.
I've never seen a hockey game before, so that would be a really good time
It's fun
be.
to watch. I will argue that's the most exciting sport to watch live. Some would
Wonderful.
disagree with me. But do you like physical hitting and you like a little violence in your sport?
Kind of, I guess.
Okay. I'm just checking. I didn't know. You're a woman of peace and science. I didn't know if you like a good hip check every now and then. But thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you for
I
having
really
us here.
appreciate it.
Anytime, and thank you. And we are so excited to see what's next. And remember
Yes.
us little people when
I will.
when you're off doing bigger and better things for the world.
Mhm.
So very
Keep
good.
you updated. Don't
There
worry,
you go.
sir.
Keep us in tabs on that.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
All right, it is 7:54. Let's pause for news and your Kim Commando update before we get you into more news. Don't go away.
Now, at both intersections near Hobson Road, south of Roswell, the hours of operation will be during the daytime, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on weekdays. The estimated completion is about 2 months, 60 days.
And good morning.
Of course, weather
it is
permitting.
27
Drivers can
minutes
expect
after
the east
7 o'clock.
intersection
And
of
joining
US
us
285 and
this
Hobson
morning
Road to be
from the
closed,
New Mexico
with detours set up for access throughout the duration of the project. And work will be conducted in phases, beginning at the east entrance of Hobson Road, continuing at the west entrance. One person has died in a tragic crash on South Main Street near the Roswell Air Center. RPD says just one car was involved at about 1 in the afternoon Wednesday. Another person in the vehicle was seriously injured and was rushed to a local hospital, but had to be extricated from the wreckage by firefighters. No other details about the crash are known at this time. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 15 minutes away from 9 o'clock on a morning without Mike Winters. By the way, if you missed any portion of the program today, you can always go back and check it out in its entirety over at ksvptv.com. It's like I said, it's the real substitute teacher day. We wheeled in the TV cart and we're just we're watching. So when I was in school, we got to watch Romeo and Juliet, but not like the Leonardo DiCaprio one. We watched this weird one from like the 80s, but there was a sex scene in like right in the middle of it. So frantically, the teacher had to run over, grab the remote control, and fast forward through the sex scene. As a bunch of high schoolers, like I remember me and a bunch of other like students were just kind of like trying to watch what happened in fast motion and take notes, try to see what kind of little bits we could see. But it's one of those kind of days here on A Morning Without Mike Winters. We're just replaying some stuff, and the teachers are gathering in the break room where the liquor bottles are slowly getting emptied. No, I'm not drinking on the radio, Mike. I know he's tuned in and making sure that all things are going according to plan. Things are fine. I'm no more than the normal level of intoxicated on this Thursday morning. 14 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with your Chavez County Sports Report.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. District basketball tournaments continue tonight. For instance, with the Roswell Coyotes playing host to the Hobbs Eagles. That starts at 6 o'clock. The winner will go to play at Clovis for the district championship. Roswell and Hobbs have played twice this season. They're district rivals, of course, and each team winning on their home court. Also tonight, you got the Gateway Christian Warriors playing at Dora. That starts at 6 o'clock. The Hagerman Bobcats won last night against Tatum by a score of 81-61. By our calculations, that means they have to play tonight, and they would have to play every night until Saturday to win a district championship. Tonight, it'll be at Loving. Also, last night, it was Jowl defeating Hagerman in girls hoops by a score of 36-34, and Gateway Christian knocked off Elida 53-24. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving through southern New Mexico today. Could bring us a few showers for a while. They'll wrap up by about noon, and then we should get some sunshine back. Our afternoon high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight will be clear, mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday. Warming up a little bit. We're in the mid 70s. Things look fair for the upcoming weekend, but a little windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Hey, that actually played the full weather. Neat. It didn't cut you off this time. 12 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Currently 33. Let me make sure about that because I was just outside. I didn't feel 33. 33 degrees, sure, according to the National Weather Service, under fog and mist right now, so a little bit misty, a little bit foggy. 92% humidity, winds out of the southeast at around 6 miles an hour. The barometer at 30.20 inches with a dew point of 31 degrees. For today, we're looking at gradual clearing of the clouds, mostly sunny later today with a high of around 53 degrees, winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, partly cloudy, a low of around 35 degrees, winds out of the south from 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming northwest after midnight. Partly sunny, then gradually becoming sunny with a high of around 72 degrees. Light south winds increasing to 5 to 10 miles an hour in the afternoon. Mostly clear with a low of around 37 degrees, winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles an hour. For your Saturday, sunny skies, 78 degrees, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles an hour, increasing to between 15 to 20 miles an hour in the afternoon. Wind gusts could get as high as 30 miles an hour. Mostly clear, low of around 43 for Saturday night, sunny and 79 for Sunday, so almost 80 degrees as we stare out on snow-covered trees. Didn't even mean for that to rhyme, but there you go. Low 70s, sunshine for pretty much most of the next work week or so. So enjoy what you got while you got it, because you ain't going to get it much longer, and you're definitely not going to get it again, more than likely, for the rest of the year. Then again, this has been a wonky year, so I could be very, very wrong. 10 minutes away from 9 o'clock, let's get you up to date with the Lou Dobbs Morning Business Report.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The market heading for a down week. The Dow losing streak extended. Wall Street struggling midweek as investors wait on new economic data. All three major indexes finished lower yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrials down 3 straight days. Stocks continue to fall from their record highs. February trading wrapping up today. The market's still on pace for a winning month. January core inflation reported today. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge expected to have risen 0.4%. If the forecast holds, it would mark a notable increase over the previous month. More retail earnings today. Best Buy expected to post a 4% decline. Analysts targeting a 1.5% dip in revenue as well. Best Buy stock, however, continues to impress, up 7% this year. Netflix expected to raise prices again. Analysts still call Netflix the best streaming value on a price per hour of consumption. Netflix stock flat after yesterday's announcement. OPEC considering boosting production cuts into the second quarter. Back in November, OPEC slashed production by more than 2 million barrels a day for the first quarter. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
Companies in the United States are 10 times more likely to be a victim of a cyber attack. Manufacturing, healthcare, retail, financial services, the leading targets. Ericsson Cyber Z Suite provides the protection you need before your data gets stolen, bank accounts get drained, and operations are at a standstill. Call Ericsson today to schedule a no-obligation consultation. That's 908-878-7717. Ericsson, ERACENT.com. 908-878-7717.
Grab your boots and head for the Liberty in Roswell for Country Dance Night with the Colt Gibson Band.
I'm going right out of what's left of my mind.
Friday, March 1st, with special guest Fabian Romero. Doors open at 6 and the show starts at 7. Tickets and more info at thelibertyinc.com. Don't miss Country Dance Night with the Colt Gibson Band.
Left of my mind.
Friday, March 1st at the Liberty in Roswell.
Hi, this is Colt Gibson, and I approve this message.
Roswell Appliance Outlet, Roswell's new source for appliances, is having a store-wide refrigerator liquidation sale. Now, that means all in-stock refrigerators are marked down to at least 50% off of MSRP, and they all come with a warranty. With brands you know and trust like Samsung, Whirlpool, and GE, with financing and delivery options available, why go anywhere else? And why pay more? At Roswell Appliance Outlet, scratches and dents will save you serious dollars and cents. Hurry in while the selection is at its best and save 50% off or more during the store-wide refrigerator liquidation sale at Roswell Appliance Outlet, 600 South Main in Roswell.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
Didn't we just play that one? Like I said, the computer's been doing weird stuff, man. It's like this. It's like the weather outside. Blowy one day, snowy the next. My computer doesn't know what's going on. Dogs living with cats. It's pandemonium out there, man. Hey, real quickly, wanted to make sure I put this on your radar if it's not already. Coming up Saturday, March 23rd, mark your calendars, starting at 10 a.m., the Conquistador Council of the Boy Scouts of America presents the 2024 Rio Hondo District Pinewood Derby. And this time, it ain't just for the Scouts, it's for the parents too. When you put both together, you got yourself a heck of a good time for the whole family. If you haven't already done so, register and get your vehicle, get your Pinewood Derby car kit. You can get that at the Conquistador Council. You can also get that by visiting their place in cyberspace, nmscouts.org, nmscouts.org for all the need-to-know info and to get your Pinewood Derby car kit, which includes the brick, the nails, the lead-free nails, mind you, and 4 tires. You know, I don't remember the kit when I was a kid saying lead-free nails. Now that I think about it, I don't recall that being part of the description. You know, I start to wonder just how many times as a child I was exposed to severe lead poisoning. I do distinctly remember sitting in elementary school and there would be a heater next to me in a chair and it'd be peeling paint and I would just peel it was one of those things where it was satisfying to peel the paint off and watch it slowly pull off. As I've thought about it more and more, I'm pretty sure that was lead paint. I mean, I didn't eat it or anything. I threw it away. I'm not a weirdo. But just having touched it, I'm like, man, how much lead did I actually get exposed to as a child? But I digress. The Conquistador Council's Pinewood Derby, that's going to be going down Saturday, March 23rd, 10 a.m. Registration at 9 a.m. They're going to have food vendors, door prizes. It'll be fun for the whole family. Get more info by calling 575-622-3461 or visit nmscouts.org.
Is lead poisoning even real?
Oh, yeah, it's real. It's
has anyone ever died from lead poisoning?
I don't know if it's a died thing, but it leads to a lot of degenerative brain issues. A lot of people have
it's like
portended that autism could be a result of it.
It's like eating paint chips.
Yeah, basically, spine issues. A lot of things like that come from exposure to lead. But then again, all the stuff that we were exposed to growing up was bad for us, like asbestos and stuff like this. Even the stuff that was put in to be good for us was horrible for us.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that like Dow Chemical Company hasn't been examined more closely.
Now it's ceramic countertops that are radioactive, apparently.
Dude, what now? Oh yeah, no, I heard about that. That there's uranium in the granite countertops because it's not like real granite.
Yeah.
It's like manufactured granite.
Yeah.
And it's got this like that dust or something like that in it. No, I was just thinking while you were saying that, I go to the playground with my kids now. Like I take them to the park, the inclusive park over here. I almost rolled my ankle the first time I walked out on that because it was so soft. It's like springy to step because obviously you don't want your kids to fall down and make boo boo, but we never had stuff like that to fall on as a kid. They put stuff in place for us to like fall and slide into. I distinctly remember at the end of the slide at my elementary school, there was a sticker bush. Nobody ever did anything about it. Nobody ever pulled it out. I'm not saying they put it there, but nobody took it out.
Somebody put it there.
Somebody put it there, I think intentionally. Like I just picture somebody standing at the gym door, stirring their coffee, going, "That'll get the little bastards." Just in my head, that's how I picture it going. But yeah, kids today, you guys got it way easy. All our Pinewood Derby nails were chock full of lead, and we liked it. Loved it that way.
That's how you learn about the world, kids.
That's right. You gotta expose yourself to it. I used to play down. I make this comment all the time, but I used to play down at the creek. It wasn't even a creek. For it to be a creek, there has to be a pretty steady stream of water. This was just like standing water in a line, so we called it the creek. And God only knows what kind of stuff I was exposed to. Matter of fact, years after the fact, come to find out, there was a kid that was playing in that exact same creek that developed a flesh-eating bacteria. It's like a flesh-eating like amoeba or something like that. He ended up losing a limb.
Huh.
Yeah. I was like, I used to play down there. God's name is down there. It was just the little creek between the church and the public pool that sometimes had water because the pool would splash. But yeah, we were weird kids. I don't know. Did you were you in Scouts?
Kind of. I was a Weebelo.
I went to Weebelo too. I made it all the way to Weebelo, got my Arrow of Light, and didn't proceed to Boy Scouts.
Yeah, I don't think I
didn't see the appeal.
Go any further than that.
Did you get to second year Weebelo?
I don't think so.
And this is the question I have because I've never actually asked a Scoutmaster, is there a second year Weebelo or did I just fail first year?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I might have just failed out.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because I was like, I remember second year Weebelo, and I've always gotten these weird like pauses and like looks from people as I said it. But so you built the Pinewood Derby cars?
Yes.
Growing up, you were like did the whittling thing and all that.
Oh yeah.
Did you and your dad ever get involved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly me, but yeah.
I just those were always the funnest times because that was pretty much the only access I ever had as a young child to knives. I was like, heck yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
The wood, it's so satisfying to just sit there and just shave the wood off and watch it just flying.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best memories I ever had with my dad. But hey, March 23rd, 10 a.m. at the Assumption Catholic Church. Mark your calendars. We got to wrap things up. It is coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. Stay tuned next hour where we play the interview with Terry Hornick, the UFO Skate Collective, on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A wildfire racing across the Texas Panhandle has become the largest in state history. The Smokehouse Creek Fire now covers almost 1,700 square miles, scorching rural ranch land and destroying homes. The fire has merged with another blaze and is only 3% contained. Panhandle resident Greg Downey says it was a chaotic evacuation.
Luckily, we made it out and into the migrant caravan, which I think was probably about 30 miles long, to the town of Wheeler. And then they evacuated Wheeler. So we headed to Elk City, Oklahoma. Then they said the wind was going to shift from the north. That would be no good. And we finally got lucky and found a room in Childress, Texas, and stayed the night there and came back this morning.
The fire blamed for one death. And now there are three. A judge in a third state has ruled former President Trump off the primary ballot. This time it's in Illinois, where the primary is March 19th. Judge Tracy Porter put her decision on hold until tomorrow, pending an appeal. Although it has to pass muster with Congress, congressional bargainers say they have an agreement aimed at averting a pending partial government shutdown for now.
In a joint statement announcing a deal, the House Speaker, the Senate Majority and Minority Leaders, and the House Democratic leaders say we are in agreement that Congress must work in a bipartisan manner to fund our government. Now, funding is temporary, one set of federal agencies through March 8th, another through March 22nd, and it will need the full House and Senate to vote to approve before Friday's deadline when some federal monies run out. Passage of the deal would allow time for Congress to try to pass legislation to fund the government for the remainder of the budget year. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The Fed's preferred inflation gauge rose 0.3% December to January, and on Wall Street, the Dow down 23 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Vladimir Putin has delivered his annual State of the Nation address a couple of weeks before Russia's 2024 presidential election.
This address was part campaign speech, part State of the Nation, and State of the World, as Vladimir Putin sees it, with warnings to the West and promises to his people that life here will get better if he stays in the Kremlin. Apparently responding to President Macron of France not ruling out sending troops to Ukraine, the Kremlin leader warned of tragic consequences if that happened and the danger of a nuclear war that would end civilization. He painted a picture of a Russia that is growing stronger, more confident, more united. But objectively, there is also more repression here. Vladimir Putin made no reference to that.
The BBC's Steve Rosenberg in Moscow. And Russia has launched an Iranian satellite into space. More evidence of close ties between Moscow and Tehran. News and analysis at townhall.com. The eldest son of Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, accused of involvement in a credit card theft ring.
Court documents say 18-year-old Tyler Boebert was identified after being spotted on surveillance video at a gas station when one of the stolen credit cards was used for a purchase by someone else in his group. He was wearing a hoodie from Shooter's Grill, the restaurant once owned by Representative Lauren Boebert, and was also recognized by police from previous encounters. He appeared briefly in court and was released without bail. Representative Boebert says it breaks her heart to see her child struggling and that he's been going through some tough public challenges. She vows to continue to be there and support her son. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Senate Minority Leader McConnell says he'll resign his leadership post in November. However, the Kentucky Republican also plans to serve out the rest of his term through 2027. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. It's after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Jeez, Jocelyn, really let yourself go. Of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Yes, in case you missed it last hour, Roy stepping in for Jocelyn as she had to step away to a meeting. It's a real team effort around here.
Does she actually do the
She did. She actually, she came in. She was
the deuce and.
She wasn't as enthused, I don't think, at first, because she's like, am I supposed to do this? Like, she was standing there, I was like, I even told you today or yesterday, I was like, you don't have to do it if you don't want. She came in, and sure enough, she deuced it up and dropped, the Tres Inviernos and all that. So
Came in and dropped the deuce.
she's learning. She's becoming one of us. But yeah, just a little pullback of the curtain of how many heads and hands it takes to make this ship run and sail smoothly when our, I was going to say our fearless leader, but that's Gene, but our captain is out feeling under the weather.
Big Mike.
In this case, below deck. Yes, Mixmaster Mike is under the weather. He'll be out for hopefully only to the rest of today, and then be back maybe inside your radios tomorrow if we get a good prognosis or diagnosis from the doctor, and the bronchitis has eased just a bit. So keeping our fingers crossed and keeping our ear to the phones to see what happens, and we'll let you know just as soon as we hear anything. I had a thought, like the shower thoughts thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's precluded by a question. Do you? And I think I already know the answer to this question, but do you have a voice in your head, like a consistent commentary voice?
It's my own voice.
Call it your thought, and that was actually my next question: is it your voice? Because I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she mentioned to me that her husband said he doesn't have an inner monologue. Like, he doesn't have a voice in his head that's just constantly, saying thoughts.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking, some people actually don't have that inner monologue. But also, for the people that do, how many of us is it in our voice? And I asked this from the perspective of somebody who works in radio, because I always, whenever I record people doing commercials, I always hear them say, that's what I sound like. So they're surprised when they hear their voice back.
Yeah.
So I wonder, what does a person's voice sound like in their head? Do you think it's them? Do you think it's a idealized version of themselves?
Well, no, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's the vibration in our own heads makes our own voices sound different to us than what it does when playing it on a mic, on a video or something, played back to us that way.
I heard somebody also say
it's like looking yourself in a mirror as opposed to looking yourself via a camera.
So you're like seeing, but see, that's the other thing too, because I've also had that weird thought of like, I'll be walking along and I'm like, I know what I look like. I know what faces I'm making. I generally know what those faces look like. But at the same time, when you really think about it, you're just a camera and you see your hands. Like, you're not really like, and that's why I think it's so hard to portray first-person perspective through film, because it's always so like narrow windowed. But like, I'm aware of my peripheral, I'm aware of my surroundings.
Yeah, me
but
too.
At the same time, it's still just a camera,
Yeah, I kind of see myself in third person.
But like with the voice, it's like I've had moments where, and this was also to kind of quell negative self-thought, is I would, instead of hearing my own voice saying, oh yeah, stupid, you did that, or okay, fatso, my own insulting, self-deprecating voice, I would hear other people saying good things that they would say about me that I never really believed, but things that they would say about me, and those voices replaced my own voice in my head. Does that make sense? Like, every other aspect of things, it was my voice. Like, I need to go to the store, go back, get milk and eggs. Don't forget to get cat food for the cat. That's all my voice. But then when it's like I do something wrong, it's like I'll hear, one of my really good friends, in my life's voice saying, it's okay, you did awesome at this and this and this. Or I'll hear somebody say, hey, thanks for knocking this out so quick. I'll hear something that builds me up instead of tearing me down. But that's in somebody else's voice.
That's quite the coping mechanism you got there.
Isn't it? I'm telling you, dude, you got to find these little avenues, these little strategies on how to make things work. Mental health is real, people. Sure to check in on your people sometime today. Make sure they're doing good. But that whole inner monologue thought, it's like there are some people out there who legitimately don't have just a constant stream voice in their head.
Yeah, well.
It must be so peaceful.
I know, right? I envy them.
Like, it's the ignorance is bliss line, but God, that must be so peaceful to not be nagged all day long by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst part. I'm being nagged by me. It's not even somebody else in my life. I'm my own ball and chain.
Although some of those people, dumb as a rock.
Oh, 100%.
Kind of.
Yeah. Which you think, well, they don't have any forethought, but then you find out, oh, wait, they really don't. It's just, there's an episode of The Simpsons where it's like, it cuts to every person in the family and like what they're thinking about. And then it cuts to Homer and he's just, in his head, he's just going, do, 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 do. No, it was, they cuts to Homer and he was thinking, sugar, honey. It's, there's some people, it's just, that's what's going on in their head is what, their favorite song.
See, for me, it's the Family Guy bit where it just goes into my brain. It's I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor.
I'm a tumor. Those moments happen a lot though, where it's just like I will tell somebody something and I'm like, are you listening? It's mostly my daughter. I'm like, I know. Here's the thing: when it's something that I know she wants to hear, she'll hear everything. Like I could be like in the other room and be like, "Hey, Rhiannon, Rhiannon," and nothing at all. But if I'm in the kitchen, she hears the microwave beep. She's like instantly like at my feet. I'm like, "Where'd you come from? I didn't even know you could move that fast, Phantom." Moving about town like Lamont Cranston, aka the Shadow. But
no, you tell anyone like $1 million or something, they'll start listening.
Yeah. I guess we all have some
free
form
money
of selective hearing. I guess it happens that we just pick and choose the things that we want to hear. But it's really funny to me what each person chooses to like trigger to like come into a conversation. Because like I was paying no attention to a conversation the other day, and some phrase was said. I think it was just like eggplant parmesan or something like that.
Yeah.
Some really innocuous. And all of a sudden my ear just locked into that conversation and I was tuned in. It's fun in this office to you that's right, you're coming off of a little bit of a sickness, huh? Bit of an illness.
Yeah.
Was it like bronchitis? Was it just a cold?
It was a cold.
Okay.
Kind of a bit of sinus infection too, because I forgot to blow my nose.
Oh,
like, you have to blow your nose, or else you'll get a sinus infection.
Yeah, it can happen, especially in this. Like I said, we've had 3 different seasons worth of weather in just 1 week, so it's understandable if your allergies are acting up, if your eyes are a little puffy, all that fun hullabaloo, because it is messy.
Have you ever wondered why people blow their nose, and it's like, why can't I just keep it in? No, that's why.
Nope. Can't say I've ever wondered that. Not one time in my life.
You never just thought to yourself, I'll just keep it in, snort it all in.
No.
Why blow it out?
There is sometimes
it's a waste of effort.
There is sometimes I wish that you would stop talking one sentence before you do. I think this is one of those times. Because what?
You just
no, you don't. That's not good. That's gross. That's I hate. Okay. The one thing I cannot stand, like I can deal as a dad, I can deal with other fluids and whatever, phlegm, snot, all that stuff. That's where I draw the line. That is my line, dude. It's so gross.
Okay.
Let me give you the rundown of this hour of the program before I legitimately lose any semblance of breakfast. Coming up this hour, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had a couple weeks back, with Miss Terry Hornick from the UFO Skate Collective. I can't get it out of my head. I can't get the visual out of my head now. Anyways, the UFO Skate Collective has a mission. They're in the process of getting a skate park put together, and they want to let people know about it. They want to let people come out and volunteer. And it's a great organization. here for the community and here to enrich our community, give our youth some other stuff to do out there. And it's a great organization. So we'll be replaying that interview coming up here in just a few minutes. See, I had it. It was gone. And then it just came roaring back like the 20s. Just, God, that's gross. 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let us get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving through southern New Mexico today. Could bring us a few showers for a while. They'll wrap up by about noon, and then we should get some sunshine back. Our afternoon high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight will be clear, mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday. Warming up a little bit. We're in the mid 70s. Things look fair for the upcoming weekend, but a little windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. Currently, let me refresh this because I did not get a chance to. 34 degrees under a mix of fog and mist with a humidity at around 92%. Winds out of the east at around 3 miles an hour. Barometer at about 30.20. I feel like the worst improv actor out there because I couldn't possibly yes and to that. That's just, there's no way. But I digress. Looking at cloudy early today. Those clouds going to clear away. Mostly sunny after that. 53 for the high. Winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, partly cloudy. 35 for the overnight low. Winds out of the south 5 to 10. For Friday, partly sunny, gradually becoming sunnier with a high of around 72 degrees. Winds south light and variable, increasing between 5 and 10 later in the afternoon. Heading into the freaking weekend, 37 for your Friday night, mostly sunny, and 78 for your Saturday, 79 for the high on Sunday. Just remember that as you stare at the snow that is covering still some parts of the ground, probably for the last time this season. 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, going to pause for a minute and a half of commercial airtime. And after these, we'll be playing that interview with Miss Terry Hornick from the UFO Skate Collective on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations. And he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center.
Attention Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia, and surrounding areas. Roswell Tire and Appliance has what you're looking for with a great selection of refrigerators, freezers, washers and dryers, and ranges, and they can prepare your appliance as well with many models in stock and on sale. You can own it today. RTA services after the sale with repair, warranty, and delivery to Roswell and surrounding areas. Save big on a selection of scratch and dent appliances too, plus a great selection of tires and a team of people to help you when you need it most. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, Tori Hornick with the UFO Skate Collective. I think that's the official name we can go with.
We did just change it because we're doing our nonprofit status. So that's why it used to be UFO Skate Bash.
Yeah, but if you go on Facebook and type in UFO Skate Bash, you'll find everything we're doing with here. Or even if you type in Roswell Skate Park, that'll kind of
just Roswell
get you in the neighborhood.
It brings you everything. Yeah. It's really awesome.
But for folks that are not familiar here, the Skate Collective is really, this is kind of, if you're not familiar, late last year, the state of New Mexico, thanks to people like Geneva and some others, worked and we got a grant for $450,000.
Correct.
Towards the skate park here in Roswell for renovation, upgrade, modification, fixer up.
So it's actually for the design of a whole new skate park.
Oh, for a new park, not the renovations for a whole new park.
And we're actually working on the the renovations right now currently with our city.
So it's a twofold to give a second place.
Yes.
And in the meantime, while that's going, we're
fixing
taking
the
our
cracks.
current home and making it more skate friendly.
100%. And so right now, what that grant is actually going to be used for, it's going to be so it's a $450,000 grant that goes towards the design. And right now, the city actually just approved the bid, or they accepted the bid we received from Bohanna Houston, which is going to be the city contractors and the people that basically are going to set up our location for the new park. And then also we're going to be doing 4 meetings for community input on design, because that's the important part of this skate park.
You want to put it in a place where people are going to access it.
Yes, we want them to actually feel pride when they come to this skate park. And by having them give input and, actually help with the designing of this future skate park and the skate complex and everything, it'll actually show that they, you put more care into something that you actually help with, you know? And so we definitely are going to have 4 of those meetings, and we really do. We haven't picked the days yet just because Bohanna has to reach out to our city. They are planning the days right now.
But anytime the government gets involved,
it takes a little bit longer.
It gets a little more glacial.
Yes.
A lot more red tape to
100%.
navigate through. Yeah.
But we are looking for something in the late afternoon. That way people, work and school
Have to
is
get
not
off work
100%. And kids can come, like anybody who wants to give input, 100%.
If you skate and have an interest in it, then you're more than welcome to come.
Yes.
And by the way, maybe we should clarify. When we say skate, skateboarding, roller skating, roller blading, if there's wheels on your feet, it's under the skating.
Even wheelchairs. So that's the whole
under the
point
skating
of,
mantra here.
Yes, we want to make it an all-access wheeled park so that anybody, can come out. And even there's there's a lot of pro wheelchair skate. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual
They do
term.
the half pipes and stuff on
Yeah,
wheel?
they do.
That's gotta be
It's
wild to
extreme
watch.
sports. Yeah, and there's a lot of families who have actually reached out with kids that have their legs. They need a lot of they have to have stuff on their legs. Like, they can't just ride a skateboard like me or you would. So they actually have been reaching out like, hey, thank you for doing all this. And, do you think there'll be a spot for our kids to, have one day out of the month to
make
come
it
out
all
there?
inclusive
Exactly.
kind of thing.
And so and that just shows that the all-inclusive part really will, I'm sorry, I forgot the word. Will work for our community, because we have a lot of people who do need an all-access wheel park. Even we just got the all-access playground which is right next to the skate park.
Yeah.
And a lot of those families do come over and we start talking to them because we do skate meets. We actually just started our skate meets up yesterday. Was our first one of the year.
Good deal.
And we had over 50 people.
I was about to say,
show
I
up.
saw some pictures online. Looks like there was a bunch of people out there.
There was a bunch of people.
And you saw everything from roller skates to rollerblading
We even had
to
people
boards.
from Carlsbad, too,
Good
on
deal.
roller skates that came out. And then inlines as well. And so that's really what we want to show our community, is that there's a place for everybody. And even if you don't know what you're doing, this new skate park that we're getting is going to have advanced sections for our, the advanced skaters, but more importantly, it's going to have beginner sections as well. It'll have street beginner sections and beginner sections.
So people that want to work on their advanced tricks, they can do it in a place where they don't have to worry about
The
people
kids
in the
being
way.
in the
and
way.
stuff. But if people are
100%.
trying to learn the sport,
yes,
they can do it in a place where they're not in the way of the
100%. And that's really important, because a lot of times, people are afraid to go to the skate park or even learn just because they don't want to get in people's way. And
it's kind of like the gym.
Exactly.
If you're going to the gym for the first time, you're intimidated because you see the muscle people.
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean? And so it's no different at a skate park. You got your Tony Hawks rolling around out there.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm nowhere near
and
Tony Hawk.
And that's the thing too. A lot of our advanced skaters here, they are so talented, but unfortunately, they only can ride what's accessible here to them.
Sure.
But a lot of those skaters, like I even have a half pipe in my backyard. Like a lot of us have half pipes built in our yards, but not everybody can build those.
Semi good handy people too, or repair people.
And actually, if you guys ever need a half pipe, definitely reach out to us, and we'll get you guys, in connection to Quint.
Hey, that's all STEM, folks. That's science, math, engineering, right there.
100%. Now, so Quint White, he's actually a local skateboarder and one of our advocates. He's going to be the vice president of our nonprofit. He actually can do any type of skate ramp you need. So definitely, if you need a ramp built, reach out to. He's the one to reach out to.
And here's something that I would find people that maybe are interested or want to check the community out, so to speak. I would offer this is it's because skating, it's popular but niche at the same time.
100%.
If that makes sense. And so what you mean by that is a lot of people are interested, but the people that really kind of live the lifestyle, that skate as a regular part of their life, it's a family. It's also something they're passionate about. And people that are passionate about something love to share their passion with other people. So when you find the people that are into skating and stuff and you're interested, rather than be intimidated, talk to them about their craft, and you're going to find out you might not be able to shut them up because they just want to share everything about their sport.
And that's kind of what happens with me sometimes, too. I'll get people asking me about advocacy stuff. Like, even I've had people reach out from Lubbock, Artesia, Ruidoso. I'm working with a few skaters there to start up skate meets in their community. And it's just about giving, little advice, just basically how we got started, which was, putting up flyers around town, like all the main spots that the youth go to. And the most important thing is I always say all wheels, all skills, because that's the point. Like, that's the whole point of this, is we want to share the skate park with everybody, and we want to make skateboarding, roller skating. We just want to make all, like, anything that you can use at a skate park. We want to make it more accessible to our community. And there's a lot of people, because we're also starting a youth skateboarding class, and with hopes with that, we're going to branch out to other skate park, like roller skating, even scooters too. Eventually, we hope to bring all of that there for classes like that. But right now, we had in March, we're going to have it on Sundays, and those classes have already filled up. And I mean, it filled up within 24 hours.
Wow, so demand is there.
It's really there. And then also, too, a lot of these kids, of course we tell them you got to have the helmet. And so that's why we're making this class free, because I want the kids to, buy their helmet and safety gear that they might need. But if they need a skateboard, we have loaner boards for that.
And that's, to be honest, that's the expensive part of the hobby, is the skateboard.
Yes.
The helmet and the pads and all that you can get relatively cheap,
very
for
cheap.
under $100.
And even if people, let's say they can't get those things, we have a lot of skate brands, or even just, even businesses in the community that have been donating, which we can get you a helmet if you do need, that and stuff like that. We want to make sure everybody's safe when they're riding.
Absolutely.
And because even yesterday we had some people on the ramp, and thank goodness she had her helmet on, because she was just, right. And she's a more than a beginner skater for sure. She's really good at park skating, and she hit her head on the ramp really hard. But you know what? Because of her helmet, she was fine, and that's the good thing about it.
Absolutely. And I'm kind of curious about some areas, and just because, and this is going to be a little selfish.
No,
for my own
100%.
Selfishly, me asking these questions because I want to know for my own purposes. Pull back the curtain. Growing up, for me, I was a hockey player. I played ice hockey. I played roller hockey. I played hockey running around on my shoe, all forms of hockey.
Yes.
But roller hockey was one, and we'd be on inline skating. I call them rollerblades because I grew up from a generation where pretty much they're all, it's like Kleenex.
Yeah.
They're all the rollerblade brand was the king brand at the time. I don't know if they still are.
They still have brands, or there's still a big brand out there.
Good deal. Matter of fact, I own a pair of rollerblades in my closet that I've owned for about 20 years. That if I serviced, are probably
those are
ready
still
to go.
good.
Yeah.
They just need new bearings, probably.
Yeah, probably need some bearings. They probably rust up a little bit.
Yeah, but you can replace them.
But they're actually hockey rollerblades. So
no, and that's cool.
The hockey boot. But what I was asking is, so is there plans at some point in the skate park to maybe include like a roller hockey rink?
So actually, yes. So the design with that $450,000, the reason why it is so much money is because it is going to cover a roller rink for inline hockey, basically, and then also for roller derby as well, and then just like for roller discos, because that is one thing that since I've started the skate community, everyone's been asking, can we do like a roller disco? Like, can we have,
Sure.
And then even the hockey. I've had a lot of guys ask, because even my boyfriend, he does the
sport.
Too. They love it, and anything they can do on wheels, and it's something that they enjoy, like, for example, ice hockey, you can't do that all year round here in New Mexico, but you could do it all year round, on roller skates.
Sure. And here's the thing, too, is if you go to other parts of the country, and I'm talking not even big cities.
North,
or up north. roller hockey, like it's a thing now.
It's a thing.
And they're all like community driven, very much like this. Like they're roller leagues, but it's not organized by the city. It's actually organized by the community.
And that is one cool thing is our city's been very, they are very supportive in letting us run everything with our community.
So I think it's one of those aspects. I think there's going to, and I think once enough people see it, the sport will catch on.
Yes. And since people saw the $450,000 grant, that's where more people were like, oh, this is really going to happen. Because before people would be like, oh, it's not going to happen.
Sounds nice.
The city's not going to build that park. Or they get a lot of pushback from people thinking we're asking the city to pay for this park.
Sure.
No way at all. We're going to try and secure these grants and funds through, we don't want to take away from any other
let's
project.
Be honest, 450 is probably not enough to do the whole park.
No, so the thing is, this is going to be for the design, but there's only 2 steps. First is design, second step is construction. So the design grant that we received from it is the $450,000. Once we finish that, the New Mexico Quality of Life grant that was given to us by our governor of New Mexico, there's a second grant to this. So once we are done with this one, we can actually apply for the construction grant. Yes, and then also...
So it's basically proof to say, we're committed to it.
We're committed.
We got the plans, but it's proof to the grant people.
Yes,
that
also. And I have been in contact with the governor's office, emailing them, and I've had a few phone calls as well, because they're really... the governor is banking. She has. There's a few other skate parks that are being built, in Las Cruces that she's a part of, or she's at least helped them receive money in ways like with us.
Okay.
And so New Mexico is getting a bunch of new skate parks built up.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Have you all talked with maybe some of the other communities and see what they're doing and kind of getting brainstorm a little bit about their ideas and sharing ideas on some of that?
So I've been talking to a few of the people from Las Cruces, and they're using grind lines, which unfortunately we had to do a bidding process, so we couldn't just contract or we couldn't just go to a skate company that we wanted and just buy them out to build our things. We had to go these stuff because unfortunately with the grants and working with the city,
there's rules on how you do all that.
Yes, but we had an amazing Roswell city engineer write our grant out, or just write everything out for the grant, and so it's all specifically for the design. Whenever these people whoever did like Bohanna Houston, how they did get the design and everything, they will reach out to a real skate park construction builder, and they'll be they'll come on to the team as well.
Gotcha.
And
makes sense.
Yes,
they get their architects and experts. That's what they do is build
And the
skate
reason
parks.
why we had to have Bohanna Houston though was really because they have to do the bathrooms, the parking lot, the location,
the infrastructure side of it.
Yes, and there's a lot of that because we're doing a regional size skate park, which is going to be anywhere from 30,000 square feet up, and
well, and where this could lead to.
Yes, because we're hoping for. So I've already been talking to a lot of skate brands that do have, or team riders that I did talk to Birdhouse about possibly getting a skate demo, because in El Paso I went over the summer to Packatoo Skate Plaza, and they had the Disorder team come out, which is Nigel Houston. He's one of the he's the go to skateboarding nowadays, and even talked to them just how do we go about getting pros to come skate our park and stuff. And so they even said
kind of already had a little bit here with Bam and Tony. And
yes, no, and those things all open the door, you know. And so we've been talking to them, and we're trying. Hopefully, we want to start getting demos out here, at least one big one a year, to have pros come out. And even let's say this new skate park doesn't happen for a couple more years, because it is going to take time to build.
Absolutely.
We were told about a 3 to 5 year. And 5 years is kind of the max, but we're looking more around 3 is kind of. But we want to make sure no one gets their hopes up in a sense. But we've even been talking about for the UFO festival, can we get a skate demo for that? Because we actually last Chile. I think it was the Chili Festival, we had local skaters, our advanced skaters, go out and do a skate demo. And it was really cool. We had a bunch of people watching, and we brought our own ramps out and everything. Nice. We made a little skate park just right next to the courthouse. And so we could do things like that with the pros. And, we can even bring in bigger ramps and stuff.
Well, and I would even fathom, if you build this skate park gets built out, if they kind of build it right and do a thing, it could be a place, depending on the the infrastructure side of it,
Yes.
where they could host regional X Games style level events there, where they're actually bringing in a draw of people from outside of the state
Yes.
to come for the weekend. And, who knows, maybe they do it around
we
the
have
UFO
the
Festival.
hotels to supply that. Like I work
Absolutely.
night audit in hotels. That's why I'm able to do all of this,
Yeah.
during the day. But we definitely have the place to put all these tourists. And right now there's even so many other pro skaters that, you didn't even know came through town, but they check out our park and they'll skate with the locals for the day, but then they bounce because it's not that anything amazing.
Sure.
But if we put something amazing there, and more will come and you will hear about it.
And we have a name.
Yeah.
The name Roswell is internationally known.
For UFO stuff.
And it's one of those things where I think something like skating would love to attach to that as part of their thing.
And we really are, because that's the whole plan, is to get a UFO themed skate complex. And people love that idea. Even in the skate community, before starting this project with the city, I was talking to a lot of the skate companies, or the skate park companies. Like I was talking to Grind Lines, Team Pain. I've even been talking to New Line, and these are the people who build, X Game parks, event level type parks, and they're, the top 5 skate parks in America. I reached out to all those builders on those lists. I was like, I want the best. I want to know what to do, what not to do. And they all loved the idea. They're like, this is something that can bring people to your town. They're like, and the thing is too, everybody wanted to build it, but unfortunately there can only be one person, and we had to go through the bids and everything with the city. So, unfortunately we couldn't pick, right off the bat, but we are so excited for this. And because it's gotten so much attention, we even had, another skate park, design company, Slow Concepts. Now, they're in Poland. So this guy was super rad. He's like, let me design you guys a concept design for free, just so you could show your city officials what you're asking for. And so they did do that. And he made sure it was under 2.5 million, and all that stuff.
Kind of meet their parameters that they would be, kind of attracted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since I have posted that too, we had so many pros saying, I would love to skate, skate there. They're like, even if you guys, and everybody knows too, that's just the concept idea to get, the city officials that were on board. But what we're asking for, is going to be completely community helped built. And the design too that I did use for the Sloan Concepts, I actually, during our skate meets every week, I had our skaters fill out a notebook and they would add their ideas of what they wanted. So let's say not all of our skaters might not be able to make it to these meetings. Well, I definitely have that notebook still, and everything's in there. The whole notebook's filled, and you can kind of tell what most of the people like because it's repetitive in there. So it's,
things that are more requested, you're like, all right, that's something we need to incorporate because more people want to see that.
And a lot of people, they just want something that they can actually advance their skating, because our skate park really doesn't. You can't be we have Geneva Martinez is a pro roller skater, but she built a whole park in her backyard. And our skate park, unfortunately, isn't built for people to become pros. But they, with this new park, we're hoping that our youth that does want to make a career out of this, or even just get in the skate industry somehow, because there's a lot of people. Even when I was younger, I wanted to be in the skate industry. But I didn't know, there was more than just being a pro. There's a lot of behind the scenes work.
Got to market and sell yourself, and you're a product at that point.
100%. Yeah. And so, now that I'm older, I'm able to advocate and tell these younger kids, no, there's other things you can do. And hey, if you do want to be a pro skater, I want to help you get there.
Sure. And who also says maybe they don't go on to a career in skateboarding or skating, but that's the platform to get them to that career.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm a lawyer. But my confidence from skating and learning and doing that gave me the tools to be a good lawyer.
And dedication too, because it takes a lot of dedication to learn a trick. And you also have to learn how to fail properly.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times, and I'm noticing with this younger generation, unfortunately, when they fail at something, they don't take it as a learning type of stepping stool, They kind of take it more, they get more depressed now, especially with the internet and everything nowadays. But when you fail, it's a really good learning process. That's,
you're right.
Once you fail and you succeed from failing, that's a huge goal right there.
Something just hit me, and it all just kind of when you said that,
I saw your eyes.
You're absolutely right about how you fail, you keep trying, and I'm telling you, it just so happens to be a skating reference. But one of the most determined things I've ever seen happen is through skating. And what I'm going to invite you to do is, I think it's on HBO or Max or whatever it is, I'm not sure. There is a documentary about Tony Hawk.
Yes, I have seen that one.
That came out like 2 years ago, maybe.
Correct.
It was during COVID. It came out. It's shortly after he broke his leg. It was right around that time. And it's an amazing documentary, kind of talking about his life and where he's at. But at the beginning of that documentary, they just show him in like his little private ramp or wherever he works on his tricks and things in his mansion or wherever he does his stuff. And the man is trying to nail a trick. And he keeps failing. Like, he's busting his butt. He's like, I mean, he's not just falling. He's falling.
He's falling.
He's getting slammed. He's getting his butt handed to him. But he will not. Like, everyone around him's like, dude, take a break. Stop.
No.
Stop. Not Tony. Tony's like, nope. And he'll limp his butt back up there.
And he does it again.
And he did that until he finally nailed the trick. He was literally there hours beating himself
and
up.
I've seen skaters do that too. Like even Robert Zamora, the one who won, he won Tony Hawk's Skate Park Hero, Tony's pick, which that to me was really awesome because there was two winners. There was the one who won with all the votes, and then he won from Tony's pick, which I think is awesome. Just on that because Tony literally was like watching his video and he's like, Robert Zamora, and him, like, if you watch him skate until he lands something, he's gonna just keep going and just keep pushing, and it's really awesome. And he's
but you're right, that's what it takes. But if you learn that through skating, you can apply that through any aspect of your life.
Correct.
It's learning the mindset.
It really is, and that's I think especially nowadays, and how I heard you guys talking about with COVID too earlier. It's not the same since COVID. Nothing. And actually, since COVID, that's really when our skate community blew up. And I mean, like, because when you're sick, you're not going to go skate. Nobody sick is going to go skate.
Right.
No. So, and I mean, you can tell, too, if they were sick because they're not going to be able to push a board. They're going to be coughing, dying. But
yeah, you need your lungs.
You really need your lungs, And so during then, and I had my son was a newborn, and we would bring one of those like little Tykes Playhouse swings and attach it to the tree, one of the trees there. And there would be 100+ people just skating out there, and it was just really cool because we'd have barbecues, we'd have people get all together.
You separate, but be together at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And honestly, people just wanted something healthy to do, and especially, that's what really built it to a community, or more than a community. It really became a family because we all took care of each other. And like, there were times where there was locals that I noticed weren't coming to the park, and when I asked them, if they were sick or something, I would go take them food and everything, or even other skaters would go take them food because at that time, even if you just had a common cold, you couldn't go anywhere,
right, Yeah.
And so, and that's when during that time too, a lot of like roller skates were completely sold out. Like I even had bought a new pair right before COVID had hit. And because as soon as COVID hit, I even ended up getting a thing like 2 weeks later saying my skates were put on hold because the manufacturers they didn't have it to send out. And I was like, no way. And it literally, I finally got like an email a year later saying that they were ready. And I was like, I already got another pair, but it was just crazy.
That was the world we lived in at the time.
Yeah. And it was really crazy though, just how all that happened. And especially too, because we even had the Aquatic Center, sometime after. It was after when COVID was finally done. They decided to host a skate event. Well, they canceled it. And nobody knew. We all were out there. Like, they posted it on their website. But unless you're, posting a flyer at the skate park.
Right.
But they're not skaters. They don't know. It was something they tried to do. And it was really nice that they tried. But unfortunately, a lot of kids didn't get the memo. So that's when I was like, we need to have an event because these kids were just out there waiting to win prizes.
Sure.
I mean, this was the
They're
first.
ready to have fun and learn and get introduced into the sport of
skating.
skating.
And this was the first skate event I think our city had done since I'm 32 now. And the last one that I recall before this was when I had just turned 18. So that's a long time for our city to kind of ignore, the skate community. And so whenever that happened, that's what I was like, no, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to make, events. And so for my son's first birthday, because that was where I was able to use his birthday platform to, start all of our events. And so we ended up calling it Liam's Skate Bash. And that's how the whole UFO thing, or we ended up replacing Liam with UFO. But we ended up having like 40 to 50 people come out. We had a bunch of skaters, and all I did was email all these name brands, and they sent us a bunch of skateboards. Like, I mean, I had at least 20 skateboards the first year to give out. And I mean, everybody first, second, and third, I wanted it to be completely fair because this was the first event that most people haven't ever done an event. So I wanted to make sure if they won first, second, or third, they all went home with a new deck.
Sure.
You know, that it was pretty fair, except like, of course, first place got the first place trophy, but I wanted to, you know, give back to them because they really haven't had anything, especially seeing them, you know.
You're cementing that passion for the sport.
Yeah.
And if they're there with their first skateboard.
Yeah, and it deters them too.
You
You know, whenever they like think, oh, we're going to have an event and it got canceled, they don't show back up for the next one. But since then, we have, you know, multiple events a year now, and people always show up. And let's say they can't make it to one, they definitely come to the next one. And that's one thing is we want our kids to, you know, in this community to be able to depend on us. And there's not, even last year, I know like the volleyball teams for the Roswell were getting cut, you know, and stuff like that. And we should be adding more. We should be able to expand our youth programs, not remove them. And that's why with this skating, so in March 3rd is going to be the first skateboard class that we do for the youth. And from this class, I want to expand it to roller skating, and it's going to be park skating because I know at the adult center, they do some roller skating classes sometimes throughout the year, but that's strictly, you know, inside in their basketball area. We're going to teach them how to do stuff at the skate park. Gotcha. And that's really, especially because before this new park comes in, it's going to be big. And they're going to have new skating modules that, like, our parks didn't have, you know, never seen here before.
Right.
And so we want to get them prepared. And we want to make sure that they're 100% ready for those, you know, things.
It's nothing, you know, you got to learn to crawl before you learn to walk.
Exactly.
You need to know how to go forward, backward, and all that before you start taking the ramp and navigating jumps and grinds and all the tricks and maneuvers.
100%. And it really does help kids when someone's there, like a coach, you know, help, like pushing them, like, you know, telling them, you know, good job, even when they, you know, might, because that's the thing too. We want to teach them, you're not going to land the trick right away. Like how we were talking earlier, you are going to fail sometimes, but that right there is a win. Like, you know, because unfortunately we are a rural disadvantaged community or, you know, area. And unfortunately we have a lot of at-risk youth and we have a lot of displaced youth right now. And that, it's a real big bummer, you know, and these kids really do need something fun to do that's free. And like I said earlier, too, if they can't even afford the helmet and that's the only thing stopping them, we will get them a helmet somehow. And
shoot, we can go to the thrift stores around town. I'm sure one of them
and we do get donations for stuff like too. Like I have given out helmets, but if I don't know, then I can't do it, you know? So that's one thing we're really hoping to do.
I'm a little old school and we never wore helmets when I played as a kid and all that. Is it a law now? Or
so it's not, but just because we're becoming a nonprofit and we're getting,
obviously you want to promote safe, but I just didn't know if it was legally required. So some old hat is out there at the skate park and he's like, I'm not wearing a helmet today.
Actually, so we even have this nice little old, lady. She comes out every Sunday we're out there. She's been doing this for over 2 years. She comes out, she tells us all, God bless you. She's so sweet. She'll even pray for those, you know, she's the nicest little lady that comes out. And it's really cool to see, you know, people in the community do that because you wouldn't expect, you know, somebody, you know, in their 70s just to come out and tell all the skaters to have a good day. Because, you know, unfortunately...
You're thinking that, get off my lawn. Not
yeah, and unfortunately, you know, skaters have had a really bad rep in Roswell for a long time. And just in the you know, America in general.
Thing. It's, you know, the 80s movies, they're the rebels.
100%.
They're the, you know,
and that's what, and yes, unfortunately, there are some bad apples. But in our community, like, when we do have a bad apple, we try to get them to, you know, try to undo the wrongs that they've done. And if they choose, like, you know, unfortunately one time we did have an incident where, you know, we gave the kids an opportunity to either publicly apologize since it became a public, you know, situation, but they chose not, like, all they had to do is, you know, apologize publicly, pick up some trash, you know, just once, and then
repentant.
Yeah, and they could still volunteer in our community, but they decided not to. So unfortunately, you know, we have had to do that with some people, but it's all about being a whole with the community. Like, just because we're Roswell skate community, we're still Roswell's community. So everybody in it, you know, I want to make sure that everybody likes us.
Every group activity always has those. How many times do you go to a baseball game or a soccer game and one of these incidents happen? It's no different. Let's face it, anytime there's competition and
something.
You know,
it happens sometimes.
People get their tackles up and they're ready to get to do.
And it's really, and I do want to say too, it's really cool because we haven't had many of those scenarios.
Yeah.
And that's
that's what gets the spotlight. When
of course.
People, yeah.
Oh, there's even a news interview talking about, how the skaters were destroying the skate park, tipping the porta potty and all this stuff. And we recently got the porta potty back out there. We found out it was the wind tipping it. Yeah, because people were out there when it happened for once. But now because we have people in the skate community who talk to this, the city officials, we're able to advocate and talk for us, like saying, hey, no, it's not people pushing it. It's the wind. Now they know, so we're able to fix it. And I do have to say, like Christina Arnold, she's been one of she's been a huge help. Even Jim Burrs, he's Parks and Rec. He's been amazing too because he actually is helping us right now. We've been working on murals at the skate park just to deter graffiti artists.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it has
that
helped.
Should be a collaborative. I think instead of sending away the taggers, invite them to come to do art.
Yes, and we have done that. Yeah. And so the only thing, though, and it's still open, too, if anybody wants to, submit a big mural, they just have to have proof that they've done that type of artwork before. Sure. And just because...
But you know what you're doing a little bit. Don't come up there with your stick figures.
Yeah, because unfortunately, spray painting in New Mexico in the wind can be a little difficult.
There is an art to that.
Yes, and it really, and I've even seen these graffiti, like when they're out there, like with our project, and I'm like, oh, this wind, how are you doing that right now? And I feel so bad sometimes, but they create beautiful things because they know what they're doing.
Sure.
And all you have to do that is just reach out to me through Facebook, Instagram, whichever, even my number's somewhere on there.
Could be your platform.
Yeah, just any of the platforms.
Next big thing.
And you just show a pass,
Absolutely. So I just saw the time. We gotta hurry up.
I'm so sorry.
So if anybody wants to sign up for classes or has any more information, what's the best way to get a hold of you
guys?
The
best way to get a hold of us is through Instagram, but if just messaging. But if not, Facebook also, we do check that.
Okay.
And then my email is just ToriRay1129@gmail.com. That's another good way. But we do have an event coming up. I just want to say it really quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually Mason Mays. It's a memorial skate jam for him. He passed away a couple years ago, and so to keep his memory alive, we're going to be
come
doing
out and do a little memorial skate for him.
And that's going to be on March 26th, and it is the day that he did pass, so that's why it's going to be on a Tuesday.
Anniversary date.
Yes, and so we're going to have balloons to let go and all that stuff, as well as candles. And if anybody wants to come out just to, do just
especially
to support.
If you knew him or want to know the family and want to show your support.
Yes.
Or if you just want to come and be a part of the skate community.
Yes, because we have a skate jam.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But definitely, and again, look for UFO Skate Collective or UFO Skate Bash on Facebook. It'll find it, and then you can get in touch with Tori and the rest of the collective there.
Yes.
So,
thank you so much.
Anytime. We'll see you next time, okay?
All right, awesome.
All right, it is 8:58. Quick break before they make me play the news. No, go away.
US 285 at both intersections near Hobson Road, south of Roswell. The hours of operation will be during the daytime, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on weekdays. The estimated completion is about 2 months, 60 days, and of course, weather permitting. Drivers can expect the east intersection of US 285 and Hobson Road to be closed, with detours set up for access throughout the duration of the project, and work will be conducted in phases, beginning at the east entrance of Hobson Road, continuing at the west entrance. One person has died in a tragic crash on South Main Street near the Roswell Air Center. RPD says just one car was involved at about 1 p.m. Wednesday. Another person in the vehicle was seriously injured and was rushed to a local hospital, but had to be extricated from the wreckage by firefighters. No other details about the crash are known at this time. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The FBI said releasing the 1023 would put the confidential human source's life in danger. Then why did the FBI make his name known? Apparently, the FBI's excuse to withhold the document from Congress was pure smoke, he points out. And the FBI's conduct is obviously absurd and a disservice to the American people. And he pointed out, according to the Justice Department indictment, the FBI finally interviewed the FBI source in September of 2023. We made the 1023 public just a few months prior on July 20th, 2023. So clearly the FBI finally acted because of our release of the document. In other words, we embarrassed them. And by the time the document was over 3 years old, well, 3 years they didn't do their job.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Now, you've heard me talking about Byrna, BYRNA, and their pistol. It is a less lethal pistol, in this case, that you can rely on if you're ever in a situation where you need protection. Their pistol fires powerful deterrents like tear gas and kinetic ammo. And listen to the story from Marvin, a Special Forces vet. And Marvin fired his Byrna from 40 feet away as 3 unwanted people tried to enter his home. All 3 went down for 30 minutes, enough time for the police to arrive and for him to get to safety. Now, he said using a Byrna was no problem for him, and he simplifies it by saying you buy a car, you need car insurance. If you've got a life, you need life insurance, and Byrna is it. Now, government agencies, police departments now across the country, they are now relying on the non-lethal option of Byrna. Now, Byrna is proudly American. They can ship directly to your home. Go to Byrna, watch their videos, Byrna, BYRNA.com/Hannity. You'll get 10% off any purchase, BYRNA.com/Hannity.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure moving through southern New Mexico today. Could bring us a few showers for a while. They'll wrap up by about noon, and then we should get some sunshine back. Our afternoon high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight will be clear, mid to upper 30s, and then we're back to sunny weather on Friday. Warming up a little bit. We're in the mid 70s. Things look fair for the upcoming weekend, but a little windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. An inflation gauge favored by the Fed increased in January, the latest sign that the slowdown in consumer price increases is uneven from month to month. Prices rose 0.3% December to January, up from 0.1 point in the previous month. Prices were up 2.4% from a year earlier. More Americans applied for unemployment last week. Jobless applications rose by 13,000 to 215,000 for the week ending February 24th. Electronic Arts cutting 5% of its workforce, roughly 670 employees, as layoffs in the tech and gaming sector continue after a surge of hiring in recent years. Wall Street's benchmarks opened higher this morning. Stock futures, which had been in the red, turned around following release of the PCE report on inflation. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
Attention Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia, and all of southeast New Mexico. The University of New Mexico wants you. UNM is ranked in the top 1.5% of all universities in the world and the only Research One university in New Mexico with over 200 academic programs and endless opportunities. UNM is truly a world-class university. Define your future at the University of New Mexico. And UNM has increased the number of scholarships for 2021. So now is the time to apply. Apply today at unm.edu. Now accepting applications from Southeast New Mexico.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
That's going to wrap things up from our end, closing in on 10 o'clock. Big thanks to everybody out there for making us a part of your daily routine. Hopefully Mixmaster Mike back inside your radios tomorrow morning. Keep it locked right here. Travis and Sexton on their way up next on 106.5. See you tomorrow.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Biden and Donald Trump both heading to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Mr. Biden's visit to Brownsville, where border crossings are down, is nothing more than a photo op.
Why would he go to the 29th ranked hotspot? Because he doesn't really want to see the reality. We tried to explain it to him. The National Border Patrol Council themselves called President Biden's visit, quote, too little, too late.
Meanwhile, former President Trump will be 300 miles away at a state park. That is the epicenter of a standoff between Texas and the federal government over immigration enforcement. Also at townhall.com, a wildfire spreading across the Texas Panhandle has become the largest in state history. Authorities say the Smokehouse Creek fire grew to nearly 1,700 square miles of scorched rural ranchlands and destroyed homes. The fire merging with another blaze and is 3% contained, at least one death reported. Forecasters say a Pacific storm, packing powerful winds and heavy snow, is headed for parts of northern California. 10 feet of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains. More Americans applied for jobless benefits last week.
The Labor Department says applications for unemployment benefits rose by 13,000 to 215,000 for the week ending February 24th. Despite the increase, layoffs remain historically low, even as more high-profile companies have announced job cuts this year. In total, 1.9 million Americans were collecting jobless benefits during the week that ended February 17th, up 45,000 from the previous week and the most since November.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The Dow is down 81 points. The NASDAQ